Okay, we are live. We are live. Okay. All right, let me just check my settings real quick. Okay, let's see. Is it working? Yes. Okay. All right, I'm going to wait for a couple minutes for some people to come on so I can get this prayer meeting started. So I'll give it a few minutes. Okay. All right, we got a few people, so I'll go ahead and get started. Welcome to today's prayer meeting. Okay. The topic I chose to do this morning is, if you look at the title, it's choosing marriage and forgiveness. Okay. And I'm going to just read a couple verses and I'm going to talk about it. And I'm going to talk about what's going on, some observations I have. And from last night's live stream, I kind of thought on some of this stuff. And, I just want to talk about it a little bit. And I'm going to show a video kind of talking about that subject. And, you'll see what position I'm in right now with my fractured foot. Kind of can't do too much. Can't really go nowhere. Well, I can. I mean, I got a walking boot, but it does hurt to walk, and I can't really walk a lot or move too fast. So I'm kind of limited. It's kind of frustrating, but I got to heal. That's the process I got to go through, but that's all good. Before I get started, I'm going to show you guys a video. Well, before I get started, I want to pray first, because last time I forgot to pray. And hey, Corey, good to see you, brother. I want to pray before we get started, because in case I forget, because sometimes I do, and I don't like to leave a prayer meeting without prayer. So I'm going to go ahead and pray real quick, and you can pray with me. And I'll go ahead and start. Lord, thank you for bringing us here together today on this prayer meeting, Lord. I pray that you bless this prayer meeting. I pray that you bless everybody that joins in the prayer meeting, and those that don't join in. I pray that you bless them also, Lord. And I pray that each and every one of us gets something out of this prayer meeting, and that we can be uplifted this Sunday, that we can come out feeling good, and and I pray, Lord, that you would just lift us up in our everyday lives. And Lord, I would pray that you bring us together. And for those that want to get married, Lord, I pray that you open the door for that good men and good women could come together in marriage. And Lord, I pray that you open it up, with good people, whether we be in the same racial group or a different racial group. Lord, I just pray you bless us, and please help us come together as men and women, as you want us to do, as husband and wife, and build a family, Lord. And then also I pray that you put in our heart forgiveness. Help us forgive others that hurt us, Lord, others that do us wrong, Lord. And please, Lord, I ask your forgiveness for everything I've done wrong. And I pray that you help us not just get forgiveness, but forgive others also. And that we can learn from it and move forward and come together, in our communities, in our nation, that we could be one nation under God, Lord, that we can come together, regardless of our race or color, men and women, Just help us, Lord, each and every one of us. And and I thank you, Lord, for providing a way for us to come together, through YouTube, that those that want to hear the scripture can. And Lord, I thank you for everything, Lord. And please bless each and every one of us today. In Jesus' name I pray, amen. Okay, now I got the prayer out because sometimes I forget. And I don't like to leave without a prayer. Prayer is good. We need prayer in our life. And there's power in prayer. There's power talking to the Lord, and he knows our hearts, and he knows us through and through. He knows what we do good and what we do bad. He knows all about us. You can't hide nothing from the Lord. If you're wrong, you're wrong. If you're right, you're right. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat nothing. But anyway, hello, Thelma. How you doing? I want to talk about something. It's kind of on my heart, and we need to talk about this. And sometimes it's uncomfortable. Sometimes, ever since I started this channel, I always wanted to promote interracial relationships, interracial love, done the right way, done traditionally, done biblically. Man and women come together in marriage, having a family. That's what my intentions are. That's what this channel is. Sometimes people come in, they have hurt. Sometimes people vent, and that's fine. But we got to get to a point where, when we do open our options, do it the right way. Pray about it. Make sure that's the best option for you and for them also. But when we do that, we got to do it with love. We can't. We got to get away from lashing back out at people that hurt us. And I've seen it through people that have opened up their options. Some do it out of anger, or out of hurt. They feel another group of men might be better, and men are the same way. Another group of women, and sometimes that is true. A lot of times it is. But we got to move with love. We got to move with our heart. We got to move, with wisdom. We got to move the right way. But we got to heal. We got to come together, and making digs at other people on the way out. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help them. Whoever we're with, if we open up our options, the people that we leave to be with someone else, they're still going to be there. Okay. And it's kind of, it's weighing on my heart a little bit, because I promote opening up your options, but I don't want it to go in a way that bitter and angry, and you know what I mean? I want it to be with true love. I want it to be, and the people that do you wrong, the best way to get back, well, we're not, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. But the thing that's going to bother them the most is if you just forgive and move on. Live your best life. And that's it's a beautiful thing about forgiveness. Yeah, it's good for the perpetrator because you forgive them the wrong they did you, but it's good for the victim because the victim can move on. They can release that anger, that hurt, and they can move forward. They can come in a relationship with love instead of bringing baggage of pain and hurt and carrying that over, because you don't want to do that, because the person you're with, it's not their fault what you went through. It's not. On both sides. So, that's kind of on there. And sometimes people do triggering things to get at another group. all you're going to do is draw emotion. All you're going to do is create anger. And, the best thing to do is move forward with love and happiness and forgive and move forward. Now, when you forgive, that don't mean you got to let them treat you bad again and stay around them. No, you're letting it go. Let God deal with it. God will make it right. You don't have to. In fact, when you try to make it right by lashing back out, you actually make it wrong. You're contributing to it. You can't fight hate with hate. You can't do it. You can't fight racism with racism. You can't. You ain't going to get rid of it by reversing it. Same thing with hate and animosity. You got to fight it with love. That's the only way to get rid of it. Because when we just keep it going, it takes a toll on us, right? But that's on my heart. I'm going to show you this video that I made, and I'm just sitting on my couch, kind of. This is what I do. I've been doing the last couple of days. I mean, we've been getting out, but like I said, I can't move around a lot because I did fracture my foot. But anyway, but yeah, forgiveness. Break those chains. Forgiveness. Just break it. That anger, that animosity, that hate. Break those chains and move to a better option. Move to love. And who knows? The ones you forgive might get right later on. They might turn it around. But let me put this on the screen. And this is me on my couch. Okay. And I'm controlling the camera with my mouse there. But that's what I did today. And I'm going to show you this real quick. How's everybody doing? Sitting up here, laid up on my couch. Got my fractured foot. Really can't do much. I can't move around on it. It is a walking boot, but it's really sore and I can't move too fast in the boot. So most of my time off that I'm having because of my injury, I'm spending, laying around the house. Sometimes me and my wife will go out. I ain't totally staying at home. I still got to do something. I'll go crazy. But I want to talk about something. And last night we had a pretty good discussion on our on the live, and speaking to the panel and a lot of the ladies out there, and men too, opening up their options, dating outside their race, and sometimes, well, quite a few times, people do it maybe not the way they should, in my opinion. Some people date and open up out of anger, out of hurt, out of frustration. And, that might lead you that way, but you got to heal. You got to go into your relationship with love, and you have to forgive. And the bottom line is, if we as people, and I'm speaking across the board, if we decide to open up our options because where we're at isn't the best option, that's fine. But when you do it with love because you want to be with that man, that woman outside your race, that's a beautiful thing. And that's the best way to get through it. It's the easiest way. Because when you have anger and hurt in your heart, you carry it over. And, me as a Christian, we have to forgive people that do us wrong. And whether, one man, one woman ain't better than the other. What sets people apart is the choices they make in life, the decisions they make, the character they have. That's what sets them apart from everybody else. And that's the person you want to be with, that has love in their heart, has character, and but you got to go into it with love, because the people, you might not be dating a certain group of men, women, but we still got to deal with them in our everyday life, and I've seen some ladies that are upset with black men, but they're still in their family, right? Some have their kids, their father, their brothers. You know, we still have to deal with each other. When we talk about our community, in reality, we're all in the same community. We might live in a different part of town, but we go to work, we deal with each other in our businesses, within our life. We're connected. And yeah, go for the best option and hold every man accountable. I have no problem women going in on a man that's done them wrong, whether you be black or white or whatever. Um, but just keep this in mind. You know, the best way to get back at somebody is to live your best life. You know, forgive them, move on. Go to the man or woman that's best for you. And guess what? That drives them more crazy than you having an emotional response, because people feed off that emotion. They feed off the anger, the frustration, you know? And men that are jealous, that don't like you open up their options, they want that emotional response. They want you to get upset. They want you to get mad. They want you to get hurt, because it gives them power. Makes them feel you're still interested in them, even though they've treated you bad. And that might not be the case. You might just be an emotional wreck. And we all get there. But we got to learn a way to do it with love. And what I'm saying is, you don't excuse anyone's behavior. You hold everybody accountable. But forgiveness, you know, people need forgiveness. And it's not just for them that do you wrong, it's for you. So you can let go and move on. You know, I've been thinking about, ever since I did this channel, I've been thinking about my life with my wife, you know, being in an interracial marriage. There's always been haters. There's always been people, you know, against what I'm doing. But the thing that makes them upset more than anything is when I'm living my life, living my best life. I'm happy, have a good wife, good family, and I don't even respond to them. That's what really gets them, because they know you're blessed. They know you're living your best life. And ladies, if you're going to open up your options and you think the white guy's the best choice, go for it. But heal first. Go in with love. Make sure you're into that man. Not just because he's got money and good financial sense. You know, you got to be attracted to him too. You got to be in love with him, or it ain't going to work. And vice versa. You know, attraction's got to be there. The physical's got to be there with the spiritual and the emotional. You got to have love all the way around. I mean, to be happy. And you got to, you know, but you got to be strategic. And triggering men that have done you wrong or women, that really don't help. You know, yeah, it'll get them triggered and get that emotional response. But if you're really opening up your options, or divesting, investing, because you want to be in a marriage with a certain group, or, you know, do it with a healed heart. Do it with love, and let those others think what they want or do what they want, because it's about you and what makes you happy. It's about finding true love, and true love comes in all colors. You know, what it comes down to is character. You know, character, hard work, and, you know, love. That's what it is. And the only thing that can heal a broken heart or get you past all the evil and the corruption is love. But you got to forgive so you can move on. Does that mean you hang around them and let them do you wrong again? No. What that means is you forgive them. You let it go. What that means is you can move on. And you don't wish nothing bad to them, even though they did you wrong. But you can move on, and you're no longer carrying that weight. You can love the next person. You can love yourself and love who you're with. And that's what we need to focus on, because we get caught up in who's doing us wrong. We get caught up, and I've seen women that are hurt emotionally. And I've seen black women go in on black men because they've done them wrong, and I get it. But you got to heal. You know, you got to forgive and move on. Go to the man that's going to treat you the best, whatever color he is. That's going to love you for you. That's going to celebrate you, provide for you. That's what you want. And you don't have to attack the group of men you left to be with a new group, a group of men that you think's a better choice. You don't have to go attacking them along the way. You don't. You know, just move forward. Do you. Love yourself and love the one you're going to be with. You know, that's what it's all about. You know, I don't really get mad at trolls or haters. I will stand up to them. I will tell them what I think. But honestly, what are they really doing to me? Nothing. In fact, they help make my marriage and relationship stronger with my black wife because we cling to each other even more when we're faced with that hate. So actually, it's kind of a blessing, you know? So, but I love my wife. I don't have time to be mad at anybody else. I don't have time to go in on Becky because I'm too busy loving my wife. I'm just saying. And that's where we need to get, guys. And from last night's show, that's what I take from it. You know? And I'm trying to look at this at a Christian way. You know? There's so much evil. And you don't fight evil with evil. That'd be like fighting racism with racism. You still have racism. You know? Fighting bigotry with bigotry. You still got it. The best way to defeat it is stop doing it. And if someone's doing it to you, don't be part of it. Don't lash back out with something hateful that you got. Stand up for yourself, yes. Stand up for who you love and what you believe. And live your best life. And leave all them jokers behind. They say whatever they want, think what they want, let them go. Don't give them that. Don't give them your energy. Don't give them that response. Don't give them no emotions. Let them know that you're moving forward to a better option. And I moved to the best option of my life. And you know what? I didn't attack nobody along the way. And I'm happy. And I get it. It's easy to attack people that have attacked you. You know, but go for the best option. I'm all for interracial relationships. I think they're a beautiful thing because it shows that people love each other that are different. You know, and some people do date out or explore their options because in their community they're not getting treated well. You know, another community might be more willing to marry them, to give them the life they want. Well, go for it. But you don't have to, you know, go with hate. I mean, check the ones that did you wrong and move forward. Let God deal with that. Let God have the vengeance. Let God deal with it. He'll sort it out. But live your best life. And that's what I want to talk about while I'm sitting on the couch. And this prayer meeting, I'm going to have to get dressed in a suit because I'm not going to go in a t-shirt and shorts. I'm talking to you on the couch, you know, but just a little message. But yeah, you know, heal, ladies, gentlemen. Whoever's done you wrong, forgive them and forget. Let it go. Move to the best option for you. Do you. Be happy. Let them sit in failure on the wayside. They don't want to marry you? Go to the man that does. They don't want to provide for you? Go to the man that provides. I mean, but be strategic. Being strategic brings victory. Having a plan brings success. Sitting around hoping for things to get better, most of the time it don't. You got to be strategic and you got to make things happen. But anyway, you know, I hope you guys have a good Sunday. After this prayer meeting, I'm probably going to take a nap. Uh, Probably gonna make me a little bed on this couch. It's so comfortable, and I'll probably lay down while my wife watches TV or hangs out, um, and I'm gonna get some rest. And I'm gonna be praying. I'm going to be praying for you ladies, you guys out there looking for love and opening up your options, that you do find true love. And anyway, have a good Sunday. God bless you and your families. Okay, that was just a little video I made. And I just a little thoughts I had, just a little observation. Some people that do open up their options, date out, sometimes they're so hurt, and they carry that hurt, they carry that anger, and we can't do that. Especially as Christians, we got to forgive, and we got to marry, we got to move forward. And if you're going to date out, and because you feel that's a better option with someone outside your race, regardless of what race it is, and I'm not saying one's better than the other. No, the one that makes better decisions has the best outcome. So but when you do that, and I get emails every now and then. Women will tell me, they say they understand why women are upset and they're going in on black men, but we have black sons, black fathers. I get it. Okay. And I don't ever want it to be an attack show. Okay. I think women should vent. They should. But you got to heal and move on, because you carry that anger. It's not going to fix nothing. And I believe God has a purpose for us. He wants us to come together as husband and wife. And if in our racial group, if it's not happening, we have to move out. If you want that, it might come to that. Okay, because there might only be so many good men, ladies, and you might have to open up. Men too. I mean, depending on the situation, you want to go for the best option. You want to go for someone that wants marriage and true love, rather than somebody that wants a good time for now. But don't carry that hate with you, because look, I'll tell you something. And in my life, interracial dating and marriage, I've seen black men do black women wrong. And I'm not going in on black men. What I'm saying is I've seen it. Okay. And I understand sometimes women have anger because of that. I get it. But we can't attack the collective. That's counterproductive. It don't do nothing. Because the ones that are doing the right thing, you're attacking them too. Just go for what's the best option and just do you. Live your life. And that's what I try to carry it to that point, to where we're doing it out of love. And you know what? You don't need to get back at someone. God will take care of them. Move forward. Be strategic. Pray about it and make the best choice. The one that has the most character and loves you the most, be with them. And you'll be happy. You won't be worried about what they think. You'll just be living your best life. In fact, you might get to a point, and I've gotten to a point, where haters that come out and say stuff about me and my wife's life, I kind of embrace it, because I get to stand up for my wife and show her that, hey, I love you and I'm here for you. It's kind of like that. Because actually, it's kind of a blessing, them attacking. It's made me and my wife come together stronger. It's made our marriage stronger. It's made our relationship stronger. We see each other standing up for each other. And we don't need to lash back at them. Okay, you don't like it. Bye. Have a nice day. That's it. But God has a purpose for us. He wants us to come together in marriage. And you know what? It don't matter what racial group you are or what you look like, you can find true love. And that's the goal. And I'm not going to tell you one group of men is better than the other, because there's not. There may be a group that's making better decisions and has a better outcome. You know? And you want a man that's going to provide for you, ladies. You want one, and you don't have to be rich and have money all over the place, but as long as he works hard and knows how to handle his money and pay the bills and make sure you have your needs taken care of, you and your kids. I mean, that's what it's about. And I would love to have, and I know it's easier said than done. We're always going to have people come in and that are hurt, and they're going to go in hard, and they're going to do some triggering things. And I just pray for them, because the thing of it is, when you do that, it's not helping nothing, you or them, and you're really not getting back. And why should you get back? Vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, right? So forgive, forget, and let it go. And I know it's human nature to get revenge on people. I know it's human nature. They made us feel bad, and to do something mean to them kind of feels good, right? But it's not right. We're supposed to forgive. And I'll tell you a story. When I was in the Army, this soldier I had, he was, he had it together. He was smart, hardworking, awesome in that area. But when it came to morals and doing the right thing, he wasn't too good at it. But when it came to work being done and the mission, he was there. He made it happen, right? And this kid, well, I call him a kid. He's like 10 years younger than me. I went to bat for him. He got into some trouble, and I kind of put my career on the line a bit, because I felt that his career was worth saving. He's a good guy. Morally, he was kind of jacked up. Okay. So, got through it, and he ended up getting out of the Army, and he was smart, became successful, and doing very well. Okay. And this kid was a black kid, and and when it comes to finances, when it comes to success, he's got it together. And he's like in his 40s, right? And he told me, he says, you know what? You help me out. Anything you ever need, you call me. And I kept in touch, right? And when I got out of the Army, I retired. I called him, check on him. And he says, well, ask me where he's at. He says, well, do you have a job? Well, I'm doing little jobs till I find something, He says, you know what? Let me make a couple calls. He got me my job. And we had each other's back, and we still do. This guy is awesome. He's great, right? Now, when it comes to relationships, he's not married. He has a son out of wedlock. He's a womanizer. He's successful financially, but he's a womanizer. He's not good for marriage. He's not good for dating. And in fact, if women came to me to ask, should I get involved? I would say, heck no, leave him alone. But I love the guy. He's my friend. He's actually got me my job. And well, I saved his career. I mean, we kind of had each other's back that way. But what I'm saying is, do I need to go in on him? Because he's treated black women awful. He's treated, well, multiple women awful. And that's just his character. It's wrong. It's not right. But you know what? In certain areas, he's got it together. And I talk to this guy and I tell him, I say, look, when are you going to get married? You need to settle down and quit doing what you're doing. He says, well, and I told him, you need to go to church. You know what he said? He said, well, the club's my church. So, I mean, but the thing of it is we got to deal with each other, you know, and this guy, I think of him like a brother. When I was in the Army, we were brothers. And yeah, we were different races, we're from different places, but we had a mission. We but when it came to dating, I wouldn't recommend any woman be with that dude at all. Now, to do business, actually, I would do business with him. He's got it together that way. But anyway, my point is we still got to deal with each other. Okay. There's people, in my community didn't like me being with my wife, and that's their problem. I still got to deal with them. I can't carry hate towards them, or else I'd be miserable. They have a problem, and we got to move forward. And you know what? Because I don't carry that anger and hate, I'm living my best life. And you know what? That kind of takes care of itself. And when they know it don't bother you, at a certain point, they're going to leave you alone because they're not getting that response they want. They're not getting that emotional trigger. Today, I want to talk about a couple verses. Let me see where it's at. And I posted them up here. And I want you guys to take a look at these verses. Most of you have seen them. Where did I put it? There it is. Genesis 2:24 and Matthew 6:14 and 15. Okay, and one's about marriage. Okay, and like I said, I believe God wants us all to be married. Okay, I think that's, and not all of us are going to get married, but the family's stronger when we come together as a man and woman. When our children have an impact from a man and a woman, and they need both, whether they're boys or girls. They need both parents, and they do. And studies have shown they do much better than people that come from single parent families. And that's not to say single parent kids from single parent families don't do well. The odds are against them. They have less resources. They don't get the love from both parents, and it can have an impact. But here in Genesis, this is simple, guys. And here in Genesis 2:24, it says, therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall become one flesh. Okay, this is in Genesis. When God created the earth, created man and woman, the beginning, and that's his instructions. That's what we're supposed to do. As a man, we're supposed to leave our family and find a wife, and cleave to our wife and become one flesh. We're still two individuals, but we come together as one. And that's the foundation of the family. The first marriage was Adam and Eve. And we are supposed to continue that through generations. But unfortunately, we're not doing that. When somebody reads this verse, are young men doing this today? Are they leaving their father and mother and cleaving to their wife? Or are they leaving their mother and father and getting with different women, laying with different women? What are we doing? This is a simple verse. But we're so caught in sin and lust that we're not doing what we're supposed to. We don't even see the true blessing anymore. We're stuck in vanity, lust, and pride, and more times than not, so many men are glorified by the body count they get. How many women are they with? But the true blessing is finding that one good woman, that treasure. That's what we're supposed to do. But unfortunately, we don't. And you know what? Sometimes we might have to open up that option to get that. And that's okay. But it's a simple verse. And if I read that to someone, they say, yeah, I know, I get it. Okay, whatever. Okay, but are you living it? As a man, did you leave your father and mother and find you a wife? Now, some people, the father's not there, but did you leave your mother and find a wife? And I think so much in society where we're going wrong is cultural issues. Things that didn't used to happen, we accept more. Being with multiple women is accepted in society. Having children and not marrying her is acceptable. And it's gotten so bad that even women are saying, well, that's the way it is. Because we live it so much when we're living in sin so much that we begin to think that's just the way it is. And we get conditioned to that. And so many women are selling themselves short, not understanding the value they have because they're accepting these norms. Most men don't get married. Okay. Well, what? You just go and have a relationship, have children, and if he's tired of you, then what? Marriage is a contract between two people and between God. It's a promise. When you say I do to your wife, you're saying I do to God. And vice versa. And you know what? I've sacrificed my wife and my kids. And you know what? I have more resources than the men out there that keep the money to themselves and don't get married because they're afraid some woman's going to come and take what they got. Money's a tool. You can earn more of it. But that's what we're supposed to do. Go out and find a wife. We're supposed to court each other and figure out, are we meant for each other? Yeah, develop a relationship with God. That'll help you get through it to find the right person. Don't be in a rush. And I know it's human nature that men and women, we don't want to be lonely. We don't want to be by ourselves, do we? No. We want somebody there that loves us, cares for us. We all need that. But don't jump into a relationship because you think that's the only way to get it. And if a man won't wait till marriage to touch you, he don't deserve you. Seriously. But there's so much conditioning. Women think they got to sleep with a man to find out if he's the right one. Or he may leave if she don't. Well, let him leave. I'm just saying. Okay. Now, if you look at Matthew 6:14, it says, and this is talking about forgiveness, okay? And this is a powerful verse. And some people don't understand forgiveness. I know I get emails and comments like, okay, Jesus forgave everybody for everything. How can you forget people that torture animals, kids, and do all these evil stuff. What we can forgive and what God can forgive are two different things. I don't understand some things, but I'm not God. There's a reason. But we can't get to the Lord without the Son, and we can't get there without forgiveness. Let him go. But let me read in Matthew 6:14. Okay, it says, "Forgive men their trespasses. Forgive men their trespasses. Your heavenly Father will also forgive you." Okay, so if you forgive men of their trespasses, forgive them, for doing you wrong, the Lord, the Heavenly Father, will also forgive you. Okay? So it's saying if we forgive others, the Lord will forgive us. Right? Then if you look at verse 15, it says, "But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will the Father forgive your trespasses." Okay? Let me read those two verses again, because I wrote it down. My handwriting's sloppy. Even I have trouble reading my own handwriting. Okay, Matthew 6:14 and 15. "For if ye forgive men their trespasses, your heavenly Father will also forgive you." Okay, so if you forgive men for their trespasses, the Lord will forgive you for yours. "But if ye forgive not men their trespasses, neither will your Father forgive your trespasses." So in order for the Lord to forgive us, we have to forgive others. Because how can we ask the Lord for forgiveness if we can't forgive others? How can we? I mean, that's what the Bible says. And I know forgiveness is tough sometimes. Sometimes you got to pray for it. I do. I'm human. When somebody does me wrong, I want to get back at them. When they curse me out, I want to curse them out back. I do. That's human nature. That person did that to me and I'm hurt and they're going to feel the pain. You're going to know what I went through. That's human nature. That's what we want. But is it right though? Is it right? You got to forgive. Pray for forgiveness. Let the Lord help you and move forward. A group of people can do you wrong. You can forgive them and move on. You don't have to hang around with them. You don't have to be part of them at all. You can move on to something better. You can. And when people come to me and say, well, interracial marriage, people should stay with their own kind, God ain't going to allow it, it's wrong. No. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. When we become Christians, when we're born again in the family of God, we're in the family. And it don't matter if you're black, white, Chinese. If you fall in love and get married, it's okay. You can do that. In fact, God wants us to do that. He wants us to get married. And it don't matter if it's your same racial group or a different one. And more interracial relationships are going to happen because of that. Because there are people out there that want to get married. There are people out there that want to have a marriage, want to have family. And there's people out there that don't want to get married. like my buddy in California. He's a good guy, but he's a bad guy, really. And I told him this. He says, yeah, you're right. I ain't worth a damn, but I'm living my life. He's a good worker. He's good with money. But the morals are shot. You know, people, there's a lot of people like that. And because he's good with money, he's successful, and he's not a bad looking guy, he's got it. He can have it. But is he really happy? The women he's with don't even get a tiny, small portion of the love that my wife Sandy gets from me. And he makes more money than I do. He does. Quite a bit more, actually. But is he happy? It's always empty. Every time I see the dude, he's got a different girlfriend. I mean, they're beautiful women, but what are you getting? Temporary good time? What do you get? And I've had that discussion. But that's where people are. And yeah, there are people that don't want to get married. There are people that just want to have sexual relations, jump from one woman to the next. There are men like that. They want to be pimps and players instead of husbands and fathers. And stay away from that. Go to the men that want to be husbands and fathers. That's what you want. And if he looks different than you, oh well. But when you do, you gotta do it with forgiveness. That way you can carry love into the relationship instead of pain and hurt. Because you bring pain and hurt, your relationship ain't going to do so hot. I mean, you might be able to get through it. Maybe the man's so caring, he'll listen to you, even if you lash out at him, he'll take it. I'm not saying it won't work, but it's better when you come with a loving spirit than hurt. Then you can truly love each other and experience the blessing instead of working through trauma while you're trying to fall in love with that person. Song of Solomon 4:10. How fair is love, my sister, my spouse. How much better than wine is your love, and the scent of your perfume and all spices. Nice. What did Corey say? A good wife is a crown under her husband. Yes, and that's in the Bible. A good wife is a crown onto her husband. A good wife makes the husband better. You know that? And I've experienced that in my life. My wife, Sandy, has made me better than I would have been. She's like a crown onto me. She makes me better than I am. Yes. And Corey, what's that verse say about a woman that's not... There's another verse. I have to look it up. But it talks about a woman that's not good to her husband. It is like... I forget the verse, but it said something like rotting bones or something, just horrible. My father always told me, even as a little kid, if you choose the wrong wife, you'll live a life of misery. If you choose the right wife, you'll be in paradise. And boy, is that a true statement. Because I've seen people that have married a woman that's not doing them right, and their life is horrible. Well, same thing with women. You choose the wrong man, that'll hurt you too. I mean, and marriage is the biggest investment you'll ever make. it's going to have the most impact, good and bad. So you want somebody that loves you with all their heart. You want somebody that can provide for you. Because if you're in a relationship and the man can't provide, ladies, you're going to have to step out and start providing. Then the relationship goes downhill from there. A foolish man tears down. A foolish woman tears her own house apart from inside and out. Okay. Hey, MW. But guys, today what I want to get at is I think we should choose marriage. I mean, it's up to you. But that's what we're supposed to do. The Bible tells us that. We're supposed to come together, men as women, as husband and wife. And, along the way, when you're choosing that person, when you're, decide to get married or, do it with love. And don't carry over that pain. And in an interracial marriage, you got to make sure you come in with love, because you're going to get hate from all sides. And if you're not strong enough to deal with that, you shouldn't even be in that relationship. If you're going interracially date and marry, you got to be all in. You got to put that person above everything, above your mom, dad, brother, sister. She is the most important. And if she's not, you don't need to be with her. And same thing for women. If you're dating interracially, that man's got to be first in your life, because you're going to come together as one. And you cannot come together as one if that person isn't number one in your life. You can't. You'll never be one if you don't love that person more than anybody. You just be two individuals tolerating each other. And how long does that last? And if it lasts long, how miserable is your life? So you want to come in as one. And when it says come together as one, that means in all areas. You can't say, and ladies, don't get caught up in this, well, he's not really that attractive, but man, he's got his act together. He's got a good job. He makes good money. He treats me nice. He does all these wonderful things, but but him in the physical sense, you just not feeling it. I mean, how's your marriage going to be? You got to be all in. You got to have love and desire in all areas. You got to be attracted to that person. That person's, when you're married, it's got to turn you on, you might say. Both spiritual, emotional, and physical, yes. Because if you don't, then your relationship's going to be horrible. Your marriage, it's just going to be a business deal. And then you're going to start resenting each other. And then the man's going to feel, dang, I love my wife with all my heart, but she's just not into me. How does that, you don't want that. So if you don't have attraction to them, don't go for them for all the other. Don't sacrifice one area for the other. You got to be on all cylinders. You do. Now, I'm not saying that, there are times that women or men get with somebody that's very attractive, but then they find out that the other person that's there ain't as attractive, but loves them with all their heart. They're a better option. But you still have traction for them. That's fine. Because us as men, we think supermodels are great, right? But what good is a supermodel that don't have your back, that wouldn't be a good wife or mother? Or didn't treat you well? It's no good. You got to have it all. You got to have it all, ladies, guys, and go for the best option for you. And do it. Try to do it without anger. Try to do it with love. Hey, you did me wrong. I forgive you, but I'm out. And move on to the better option, whatever that may be. Hey, Carolyn Thornton. Good to see you. Have it all. Yes, you should have it all, ladies. That man, he needs to be everything to you. Emotionally, spiritually, yes, and physically. He's got to be everything to you. Because how can you become one if these areas are great, but this, I can't deal with that. I'm just saying. But understand that men are not perfect, neither are women. So you're not going to find the perfect person. We all have flaws, but true love, we can work through that. And you know what I would say to the guys, you date interracially, you'll know if that black woman loves you or not. Just how she treats you. Because if she truly loves you, no matter how flawed you are, she'll work with you. She'll make it happen. She's all in. But that one you're dating, well, you got to do this. There's qualifiers. You got to understand what I'm going through. And then you do it and you do what she wants and then something else is added. No, she's just looking for a way to reject you and turn you down. You know, she might see you as the best option, but she's not attracted to you. She might see, man, he's the best guy, but she's not really attracted to you, or something's missing, but she's with you, but she's looking for a reason to reject you because really don't want to be with you. That happens so much. You'd be amazed. And guys, pick up on that. Does she have extra qualifiers that you have to meet to be with her? And I'm not saying she needs lower standards, but what I'm saying is if it goes beyond, you know, being loving and treating her with love and respect, and there's other things added, yeah, you're probably not going to have a relationship with her. I'm just saying. You know, and I felt it. When I was dating, when I had those extra qualifiers, I said, it ain't going to work because I'll never be good enough. But when I was with my wife, she was just happy I was with her. She just loved being around me. We love each other. Yeah, we have our issues at times, sure, but we work through it. You know? And we get through our problems. But there's some, oh, you did this wrong, you're done. So be careful of those qualifiers. Okay? That can be a red flag. And I'm not saying if she says, you know what, I expect you to, you know, be honest with me and treat me with respect. Now that, yeah, you're supposed to do that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, you know, she wants you to know her culture frontwards and backwards and understand everything she's been through. And then, you know, you got to act a certain way and she's trying to change you from what I'm talking about that. You know, but you should, but if she really loves you, all she's going to want from you is to love her and be respectful and be loyal to her. That's what she wants. That's it. Now, if there's other things, she's probably not really into you and she's probably looking for a way out in her mind. And ladies, you can tell me if I'm right or wrong. That's what I believe. Based on my experiences in dating interracially, I could just feel it. Who was into me and who wasn't. They might have been with me because they like what I'm doing, but they don't really like me. Does that make sense? But I was able to kind of figure that out. But the ones that are into me, it was all great. And funny thing is the ones that didn't have the qualifiers on me, I was able to understand them more than the ones that did. Yeah, and there's some black women that want you to be embedded in their culture as a white guy. Kind of, she wants the white man as like a black man in a certain way. It's weird. I've seen that. Usually, black women want you to be yourself, and they're if they'll open up their options, they just want to date you as you are. She wants the genuine person. That's usually how it is. But sometimes you get these weird things. They want you to be something you're not, and they'll try to make you into something they're not. And you could kind of feel it. But anyway, you know what? That's just life. And you know what? Life is, there's a lot of rejection. But don't carry that hate. I've seen guys that get rejected by women and they get so angry and mad and curse them out. And I've seen it and we've seen it on TV where men will try to hit on a woman and she's not interested, and he'll hit her or assault her or do something crazy. Rejection is part of life. Not everybody's going to want you or think you're great. And you can't force it. You can't force someone to love you. Either they do or they don't. Either they want to be with you or they don't. And you don't want that anyway. You don't want to oppress somebody into being with you. You don't want to trap them in because you got money or because you're successful, that you got her because she feels like there's no other option. You don't want that. That's not true love. Your life will be miserable with that. You want somebody that thinks you're everything. And, when I got married, my wife's everything to me. Everything. And I want to be her everything. I don't want to be just seen as a good guy, but lacking. No, I want you to look at me like I'm it, like I'm everything. And it should be that way. We should, if we're in a marriage, we should think about each other as the everything. Like you have the best of the best. But do we do that? Me and my wife do it. But how many marriages are marriages of convenience? Marriages of finances? Image marriages? Marriages that are built on lust? Or how people look at you. There's some men that got to have the most beautiful woman next to them. And some of these guys will pay for that. And these women don't really care for them. They're just with them for their finances. For what they got. Or how they can help them move up. But anyway. Marriage of convenience, yeah. Well, what I'm saying is, some people get married because they see a man that's got, resources. And I'm not saying don't get with somebody that's got resources. What I'm saying is, but that's their only focus. He's got money and resources. And some will get married because of that. But they'll be missing other factors of the marriage. Are they really connected? Do they love that? Do they love each other? Is there real love there? Because a successful marriage needs real love, true love. You can't go on just having an agreement. It don't work. But I see so many people say, does he got money? And they're focused on that. I don't think that's true. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about that. And those were just simple messages about forgiveness. How can we ask our Heavenly Father for forgiveness when we can't forgive others? And two, what are we supposed to do as men? Leave our father and mother, cleave to our wife, and become one flesh? Is that what it says? Or is it different? Or did it say get with 4 or 5 women, have a couple babies, mamas, and yeah. No, it says find a wife. Become one. You can't become one when there's multiple people involved. Only 2 can become one. Seriously. But if there's true love, that's not hard at all. If you truly love each other, becoming one is a natural thing. You just do it. But if you don't really truly love them and you got lust in your heart, then it ain't going to last. You're not going to have no foundation. And you'll start looking to other people. Because that lust, you can't fulfill that with one person. Usually people that are caught up in the sin of lust, they're trying to get with different women. And there's women that are doing that with different guys. They're out there too. But you cannot become one if you don't love each other in all areas. I'm just saying. But there's the link. If you guys want to come up, I just wanted to share this. And guys, whenever you come on the show and it gets heated, just remember, we are all different individuals. We all got a different brain. We all think differently. Some of us are hurt more than others. Some do hateful trigger things to other people. Okay? That don't mean we're for that. You know, we all have our issues. We're humans. We all have our drama. We all have our emotions. We have problems in life. We're human. We're flawed. But with the help of the Lord, we can get through that. You know, you could take a flawed man and woman and make them better. We could pass a blessing down the line instead of a curse. We can. And when you get in a marriage, think about this. The choices you make today will impact your family, will impact your children, grandchildren, generations. The choices you make today, both good and bad. Now, through your family down the line, you're going to have some are going stray, no matter how much good you do. It is what it is. But for the majority, you do good things, you pass down that blessing, they'll be blessed, and they'll pass that blessing. It's like a chain reaction. You know, our children just mimic us. They do what we do. And if we're teaching them bad behavior, that's what they're going to do. If they see that their mom's a single mom and their dad's out messing with different women, the boys are going to grow up and think that's what we do as men. No. You know, so we have an impact more than we even know. And do you want your kids and grandkids to be blessed, or do you want them to be cursed? Do you want them to have strong families with love? Or do you want them to just procreate with whoever they lay in bed with? I don't know. But that's where society's headed. And I'm talking all communities are doing this. This is accepted everywhere. Yeah. Hey, Corey. Hey, good to see you, brother.
How you doing, Brent?
I'm doing okay. I just thought I would come and talk a little bit about this. I kind of, after our show last night, I kind of had some mixed feelings. It was a good show. We had good stuff going on. I just think sometimes we'll hold on to, I've seen people kind of hold on to hurt more and they try to push that hurt back. It's kind of like a revenge type thing. And we're all human. We all do that. But it just, I kind of see that in a way. And I try to, I don't know, kind of smooth it over and try to move in a loving way. I don't know.
Well, when it comes to, I just see it as a form of venting, because when somebody is struggling on how to process what they're feeling, it doesn't come out right. Because sometimes when you get offended, first of all, you cannot believe that somebody had, such a lack of compassion to go so far as to do something so obviously wrong. And it's really hard to process when, it's clearly wrong, but they intentionally did it anyway.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And the venting that comes with it.
Yeah, and I think we get more offended on it and we don't see it for what it is. It's venting to where that's what it is, and it comes out bad because you're angry. Denise, you met someone awesome. Okay, I might put you in my prayer request. Yes. Yeah, you met someone. That's awesome.
That is awesome.
Brett, there's one thing I noticed. There's two types of people. There's empaths and there's narcissists.
Yeah.
And when an empath finally wakes up to the deceit and the usury that the narcissist has been using them for, and for how long, when they wake up is when they're the most offended. And there's a little bit of rage right there.
That's true.
Yeah.
Oh,
anger.
He's speaking the truth, because I've been through that. Over 25 years ago, I went through that. And you have to work on it. You really do. You have to commit to releasing that, because I never could have been blessed if I didn't. Can you imagine 30 years carrying all that pain? Because that's what a lot of people are doing. They're carrying it around like baggage. Yeah. I mean, and they're like plants, and they're watering it every day instead of trying to choke it out. They're literally nurturing it.
Yeah, it's actually, because I got divorced 3 years ago, and she's actually remarried to a really nice guy. And really, in a way, I actually pray for the guy. I hope he survives. Because he's a nice guy. I don't wish any bad on him or my ex. It's just like, that's your life, live it. I wish you the best. And it just, but it took me, oh man. Well, creating one, it takes years before you wake up from it.
It does.
Because an empath, I heard that an empath is actually created to serve. Usually you have a narcissistic parent or an older sibling or somebody close to you that trains you to serve them, because narcissists always have to be served.
Yeah.
You're trained from childhood to do this.
Yeah.
So it's second nature when you become an adult. But coming to grips with the fact that the probability of you marrying a narcissist, because that is the norm for your life, are very, very high.
Yeah.
And that you'll overlook so many red flags. It's unbelievable.
Oh, yeah.
That was intense.
It was, it wasn't just with potential suitors. It was with female friends. I remember being very very empathetic towards people when I was in school. You know, I could look at a bully and see exactly the pain they were carrying. And that's why people used to ask me all the time, were you ever bullied in school? I was like, no, the bullies used to go get me candy at lunchtime because I dared not leave that grid. And my mother or father found out about it. No, I'd stay right there. And I mean, see, seriously, I never really felt, and I feel really bad when I hear people talk about they don't want to go back to school, high school, middle school, whatever, because they were bullied. But I'm like, I can't remember being bullied. But then most of the time you bring them home and my parents would feed them and take them places and stuff. And, you know, it was just really hard for me growing up to really see bad in people because I was raised around people who always found the good in people, you know, and until I had to learn, you know, like you said, Corey, you had to learn at some point because some people will take advantage of that. They'll grind you to dust, wear out all, and then you won't have anything good to pour into anybody else.
They never pour back into you.
They never pour back into you.
It's a one-way street.
And
if they leave you empty in a shell, you know, and just cracked up porcelain, so to speak, they don't care. They're off to the next one.
Off to the next.
They have nothing to offer. They always take.
Yeah.
You don't really want anything really from them. You just want them to be, you see a better person.
Yeah.
You want them to be, and you hang in there being that cheerleader for them. And you get to this point where you realize you just want them to be, I mean, part of my recovery from it was praying blessings into their life, that they find those answers, that those doors open, whatever it is that they're looking for, that they find it and match it so that, you know, there's no point of, you know, believing that there is nothing good going to come from these people. They're good. They're God's children too. It's just that somewhere or another, they felt like the only way they could survive, something happened in their life where they don't trust or believe in giving back or for whatever reason, because oftentimes they're made this way, their environment that they were reared in. And when you hear their stories, it's like, because I'm at the point right now, it's like when people try to tell me, but see, this is what, no, I don't need to hear it. Because see, I didn't learned about behavior. I've studied behavior. I've counseled people. I know exactly why you were doing what you're doing. What I'm asking is, did you at some point stop? Did you at some point change your direction? Because you're carrying a lot of, if you haven't made any course corrections in your life, you're carrying around a huge spiritual debt. And I don't want no parts of you if you have been just around, just dumping.
That's amazing you say that, because I used to think being empathetic toward people was a weakness. But what I didn't understand is that the narcissist is so self-centered, so self-focused, they can't read people. They do like to use people, but they struggle to read people, and they're actually afraid.
Yes.
But someone who can read somebody else, because an empath is designed to serve, so we actually see a need and want to take care of it before words are even spoken. I realized that being a servant is a superpower, because I can tell exactly what you're doing before you even start, just by your body language.
Yep.
A narcissist always gets nervous, always starts doing rapid body movement. You know, they get agitated. You know, something's about to happen. Well, because I'm related to them.
Yeah.
I mean, very closely related to them. That's how I became, you know, who I am. But it took me a long time to figure this out, but the more I understood the relationship between the narc and the empath, I realized I'm stronger than they are.
That's right.
And the Bible says, don't cause your brother to stumble. So you're not supposed to use what you know to entrap people or hurt them. Yeah. You know, because there's a lot to navigate. Because the more you understand, the more you're responsible for. That's what the Bible says.
Oh my goodness, that's the truth.
Whom much is given, much is required. Pure and simple.
You know what? I find that sometimes I've done this in my life, that I'll see someone that's troubled or going through something, and I attach to that. I kind of, and some things I've gone through, I kind of relate. So I think, like Creating One was saying, you see a need and you jump in trying to fix it. And sometimes I get in trouble with that. I try to help people that take advantage sometimes, and I have done that through my life. But sometimes I've been blessed,
Yes.
too.
And that's the thing. Yeah, we get blessed, and so it doesn't really snare us or turn us completely away from doing it. We just learn how to adjust the volume. Give people what they need instead of feeling like all of what their repair is going to come from is not going to be us. We're just going to be a part of a system that's going to help get this person to their destiny. And then pray for other people, intercessors, to come in and get them the rest of the way. Because it does happen. I mean, I'm hearing about wonderful stories that are happening to some of the people, and I'm grateful because I feel like in some way I have some part in that. But I also know that I pray for intercessors to help them where I was too weak. I couldn't get them to where they needed to go.
But you can be blessed by people you help. Like my friend I was talking about. This guy, he's got it together, but morally he's just out there, man. But I helped him out, and he blessed me back. I have my job because of him. But I would not encourage no woman to get with this guy. No, stay away. And I've even told him. And I said, you need to get married, go to church. You need to. He says, nah, I'm not getting married. My church is the club. I'm like, okay, well. I mean, but he's honest. He's brutally honest. But he's like a narcissist. But there is some good in the dude. He actually, but it just, I don't know. He needs God in his life. That's all I might say.
Yeah. That's what you do. A lot of times I've done things where, I literally, people would like go to tears, and I'm like, oh God. Because you really realize that you're in over your head sometimes. You don't have the equipment to carry this person. Their issues are just too much for you. And so sometimes I would be like, okay. And then you give them another shot, and then they wear at you some more. And it's like, at some point you just have to say enough is enough. And you just look, I've given people many of Bibles, many of prayers. I tell them I'm going to intercede for you. Whenever you feel a light on you, a cool breeze, know that I am with you. But I have to let them. I prayed people into marriages to get them away from me. I'm serious. I'm serious, because it gets to be too much. You get distracted from the stuff that you're trying to do because they're always around. There is nothing poured back into you, and all you feel is drained when they leave. When they
energy vampire.
Tired.
They're like a solar panel that keeps pulling on your light, but it's a black hole.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like you tried to help someone and you did more damage than good?
Yes.
Sometimes I feel I've done that, and not intentionally. It just like you just weren't the right person for them. You couldn't really help them. You kind of.
Well, you guys do know that when people are suffering, it's usually because they're stubborn and ignoring God, and He's trying to get their attention. Now, are you going to stand in the way of that correction? Oh, get out of the way.
Right.
Yeah.
Some of the biggest lessons I've ever learned is because I wasn't listening.
Yep. And I'm telling you, I truly believe, though, that there's one or two individuals that I believe have been blessed. Now, one of them might not think so, because some people, no matter how they're blessed, they only see the things they don't have. And you can't really do anything about those people, especially at 52, 53. It's like, you know what? I don't even know, Then there's others who actually, I really hope that they tell a different story, because I see their lives have been really tremendously blessed. I feel very, very grateful to have even known them, because those people and those experiences that they brought into my life helped shape me to becoming who I was. Because if I had not gone through those lessons and got to the other side, more doors that opened for me would probably have not ever opened for me.
Yeah.
Praying for them, sending them out, and not dumping them, but utilizing their they're episodic episodes. You know, those reactions they get when they don't get what they want. So what you do is you just use those opportunities to shift to another road. And then when they come back, then you're not there. Because see, I had a difficult time with telling, because I've never found the need or the reason to give people that final goodbye. I just use their exits to change the lock, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? They no longer have access to you using their own exit, you know, because I even struggled with telling, because they would, like I said, they would drop the tears, or they would, you know, pour on the pity story, and they had real legitimate reasons for feeling and being the way they were. But at some point, you know, like Cor said, they don't pour back into you, so you're just empty. So then what ended up happening is you have to go and get your refill. And I didn't want to be the kind of person who got drained and then go to other people to get my energy. So I feel like
when they close the door and turn off,
overflow from now on. I won't be pouring anymore from, from the underflow.
Yeah, when they shut the door and turn the porch light off, don't knock on the door again.
Yeah, right.
Just leave the door alone.
Return to sender. Return to sender.
There's one thing I've noticed right before something bad usually happens socially, like between a narc and an empath. You always feel this little spin in the room, and it's always chaotic.
Yes.
And at the moment you feel this chaos starting to come up, because it's a spiritual thing. As soon as you feel that chaos starting to rise up, look around the room at who's in there, who's in the room with you. Because somebody to put it plainly, manipulation is witchcraft.
Yeah.
And so when narcissists are famous for manipulation. I'll just leave that alone. But as soon as you feel it, you're always going to feel chaos. That's when you scan the room and, where's the safe place to stand, because this hurricane's about to hit.
They do. They create they get in their own way. And some of them, one in particular is still getting in their way. And it's like, okay.
Yeah. It's best just to stand up against the wall and just watch it blow over. Because I'm not going to take the brunt of it. They made it. They can live with it.
You're not allowed to be sick. You're not allowed to go through any grief. You're not supposed to have anything that will weaken you, because you have to be there for those people. They don't even hear you when you're sick. They don't hear you when your mom is sick, or their answer is they're going to get better, because they need you fixed and on point and focused on them.
Yeah. If you tell them something bad in your life happened, they will always one up you.
Yeah.
It's without fail. They give no thought to the fact that other people suffer. It's only about their life.
Only about them. I remember when my fiance passed away, and I was literally having like this weird rush that was coming, because I couldn't believe it, first of all. So it took me a while to process that this has happened. And one of them in particular, literally, because of the nature of their job, I asked them to do a little, behind the scenes work for me. And they didn't even hear me say, I wasn't trying to get them into any trouble or anything. I just wanted them to take a look at the situation, because the death sounded quite suspicious. And I wanted them to kind of like access the coroner report, because they were in the same county, right? The only thing that person could say was, I don't want anything to happen to you. No, that wasn't them saying they don't want anything to happen to me. They needed, literally, the next words was, because I can't lose you. Lose me? We're focused here. I want you to take care of this. And it wasn't about me going into the situation. The reality, though, is that they don't want you that distracted on anything that takes your potential attention away from them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, because it is about them. They feed on that.
Mm-hmm.
The funny thing is that I don't hate narcissism or narcissist. I do feel sorry for them.
Yes.
They are literally stuck in this vicious cycle. They're going to continue to go around that mountain in the wilderness for the rest of their life until they die. if they don't get off the path, if they don't repent for the way they think, and repenting is simply just changing your mindset.
Yes, it is.
And if they don't, they're going to continue to go around and around and around looking at the same scenery until the day they die.
Yeah.
That's actually a sad existence.
It is, because they miss out on so many blessings that are in their life. I mean, numerous blessings in their life. Because, you would think, and I hope, like I said, that they are learning, especially in these last couple of years. But the only thing that this whole situation taught me with the pandemic and everything is just how to get farther away from the narcissist, because boy, oh boy, did my phone blow up during 2020. And I'm making masks for the frontline workers. I'm like, okay, I'll put them on speaker. And then after a while, I'm like, get up and move around and get distracted. I'm like, I don't have time for this, because you know what? Here's the thing. You all have had 15, 20, 30 years to regroup and find yourself another host. And I'm not listening. I mean, I hear you and I want to be there for people, because I realized in the beginning people were really stressed out. But see, I'm a reserved person. I don't have to be in the presence of people to feel air and oxygen. But these people like to be in constantly contact with people. They can't be alone. They don't like themselves enough to be alone. So they're the biggest stressor. They were the most stressed out people during that time, especially in the beginning, because they couldn't go anywhere. Everything was locking down. And they were, I mean, my phone was blowing up from people I hadn't heard from in 15, 20 years.
It
was terrible, because I'm like, really?
Think about all the people that their life is so empty unless somebody else pours into it.
Yeah.
You know what?
That's a shallow existence.
Yes, it is.
You know what? I love people and I love being around people, but there's times I don't want to be around nobody. And I enjoy just being by myself.
I hate to tell you, that's me most of the time.
Well, you know what? It's I don't know. I could go either way depending on how I'm feeling.
When I'm in the presence of people who I feel a spiritual connection to, we could talk all day for hours or whatever, and we would have to say, you know what, we need to get off the phone. But sometimes, I mean, I have a sister like that. We rarely talk because of her busy schedule. She does the same job I used to do. And so, but when we talk, I mean, we're literally like, I'm telling her like, now, look, you need to just get down here and visit me, because I'm not going to sit on the phone talking to you for hours.
Yeah.
Or one will text me and I'm like, didn't you just get off the phone with me for 2 hours and you got the text? Why did you get off the phone? We could have kept talking instead of all these, this high speed texting that you're doing.
This reminds me, because we're on the conversation of an empath and a narcissist. Ladies, don't make this mistake. If a man has the confidence to walk up to you and be bold enough to start and strike up a conversation, first of all, don't be too flattered. He might be a narcissist, and they do this without even thinking.
That is true.
Yeah.
I mean, they're very bold. They're very boisterous. They love to brag about themselves.
Oh my goodness.
And they will love bomb the living snot out of you, ladies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they will love bomb you big time.
Yes.
So just because
you
think he's brave enough,
a very long time, they can't. And if you're gonna, instead of trying, like Corey said, you have to. In other words, it's sad to say this, but you have to treat everybody as a potential narcissist.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, because they're going to approach you 80% more of the time than the regular guy.
You know what? That is so true. What you were saying. Beware of a man that just approaches you in confidence, because that is powerful. I found out when I had courage to approach a woman, a black woman, that there was actually some power to it. And when I talk to her when she's around her friends and everybody's there, because that's powerful, because people see that. They don't expect that. And I think women in general gravitate to a man that has some confidence, that does kind of what he wants to do. And he might not be that confident. It just might be that day he just does it. That was like my case. I mean, I've always been a humble guy, so I wasn't the kind to just jump out and approach and smooth with the words. But just one day I did it, and I was like, wow. And it does have an impact. And I think, women naturally gravitate to a man that has some confidence, that is just doing things. And us as men, we can be that way, but you got to come with humility, or else you're going to get caught up in, other things, but I mean, you're right. And be careful of that, ladies, because you will gravitate to that, but he might be a narcissist. He might know, hey, this works if I approach this way and flatter her and say the right things and how beautiful her eyes are and her hair looks awesome, and you'd be like caught up in what he's saying and flattered, and he's running his game on you.
Yeah, it's about 7 years, and I'm still waiting for that button that I gave to that narcissist. Really, when I met, I'm gonna tell you a little story. It's kind of funny. He was actually transferring out of the school in the last semester, which I should have known if my brain was fully developed. I would have known then. Who goes to that school for 3.5 years and transfer out in one semester? Should have known then. But at any rate, I had no idea that they were going to transfer until after I surrendered that button. So I was on the bus, and a lot of the reasons I think, wow, if I had just left school at the right time instead of staying behind, I could have bypassed this interaction. But anyway, so I was wearing all of my school buttons and stuff because we were seniors that year. I had all my buttons and stuff. And so I guess because he was leaving, he wanted to still have access to all the privileges of going to this school, but without the work. So I didn't think about it at that time. So I was like, okay, so I took my button off and gave him the button. He took my number to get his information so that I could get the button. And I didn't really think about all of the logistics or whatever, but they are very charming people. Men, women, whatever. Narcissists are very charming people. So they do need a lot of vetting. And really tell you the truth, I have established this rule that people will be vetted as long as they breathe. And here's why I'm saying this is because oftentimes in the stories that I'm getting from clients and from others is that when they get closer to the altar, they don't do a lot of the work because they've won the ticket to the, the golden ticket. So they deal with it in the ways and they have to deal with it, but they're so busy putting on a show that they really don't want to drop character. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to do this tightrope where you're constantly battling with this person and then presenting this facade that everything is okay to the public. And then when they finally get out of that situation, 10, 20, 30 years, they really are bitter because they look at all the years I wasted. I don't even feel like a whole person. This person has drained me. I don't, all of that anger that we were talking about that people carry when you were saying, Corey, how immediately when you realize that you've been this empaths, you've been they're drained. I mean, they've just been draining you. Then that immediate is you get real angry, and that's the point where you have to really do a lot of work. But yeah, you really do. You gotta get to a place where you feel like when you see behaviors, you have to address them, and you give people amount of time to fix them or make movement towards it. But you don't just keep digging in and add another child and then another child. These things don't fix these people. All you end up doing is more work because they're not going to take care of these children because these children do not do anything for them other than be something that they brag about. They don't pour anything into them. So you might see them with very successful children, but somebody else has probably did all of the work because they don't give nothing to anybody. They just take.
Yeah. Not only that, but they compete against their own kids. I've seen it all.
Yeah.
I've lived it as a child and I've watched it as a husband. They compete against their own kids.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I've heard it come out of their mouths, and I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, I was raised by one, and I married one, a divorced one too. Let me make that clear.
Okay.
But I'm with Brent though. I'm a charismatic introvert. I mean, I can go out in public and be just as charming and friendly. Doesn't bother me. I'm not scared. But at the same time, I enjoy the solitude where I
Yes.
can just sit with my thoughts. I mean, I'll talk to God. I'll sit there and I'll think about, because I'm creative. But see, that's why I enjoy the solitude. Because then my mind gets active. I don't go crazy because I don't have somebody to talk to.
I do my best work alone.
I'm self-contained, so to speak, because I got my God, I got my creativity, which to me is one and the same, because all good things come from the Lord.
That's right.
Yeah.
But I mean, and all the great men in the Bible, they always wandered off by themselves, directed or otherwise, to reflect on their life and to pray. That's actually a healthy person.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's the people that can't stand the solitude are the ones that scare me.
That's right. And they're always wondering, thinking something's wrong with you because you like to be alone.
And trying to convince you that you're not stable.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Oh, yes.
And
it's so funny, too, because these are the people after 30, 40 years of in and out of your life are shocked and surprised by the things that you like to do and that you've been doing for 30 years. And they say, I didn't know you knew how to do it because you didn't pay enough attention to see.
Those people drain that creative energy out of you so fast. I call them dream killers because they're like Saul. When he tried to stick David to the wall with a spear, they're dream killers. They want to pin your ideas to the wall and watch it die. They want to watch it bleed out because they're jealous that you're creative and happy doing
things without them.
They're happy watching it die.
Yeah.
It's disgusting, but I don't know.
Oh yeah, and
Sorry,
I'm
ranting. I'm politely ranting.
But you know what? It's an interesting thing, but you know what? I am so grateful to God that I met this early on, made the adjustments before 20, 30 years of feeling empty got in there. Because there are so many people who are toiling with 30, 40 years sometimes of caring, whether the person was there or not. They haven't unpacked the emptiness that these people have drained from them. And it's like, trust me, I get it. I didn't carry it for this length of time, but I know where you're talking about because I've been there. Just don't think because I look like I got it all figured out now. You wouldn't have wanted to meet me 30 years ago when I was struggling with this. I was in a bad place. Did I pick myself up quickly? Yes. But I had to do sometimes some mean things, say some things I didn't mean to people to get people off from me, because at some point you got to scream for self-preservation. A lot of people think that I'm really selfish now. And I say, no, I believe in creating boundaries because that's what God told me I lacked.
Self-preservation is what it is.
Yeah.
Creating when there's something that I had this epiphany, and I know the Lord inspired me to think this way, but if I know the person I don't want to be married to, and I think about all the things that I wish I had while I was married at that point in time, okay, now from a man's perspective, I find another empath on my level, because empaths are attentive, they nurture, they do all these things. But as a man, I'm also a protector. I can become a beast if I need to be because I possess that ability. Testosterone is a big thing. But you get the best wife, the best lover, the best friend, the best mom, the best everything. Finding somebody, like for a woman, you get the best husband, the best friend, the best conversationalist. All these things fall in place if you pick somebody of a like mind.
That's right.
Yeah.
And you can't find that in a narcissist. That charming, boisterous guy that blows in like a hurricane, that Disney crap that sweeps you off your feet. Beware.
That Disney crap.
Well, because that was, it's make believe, and no women are hung up on that. I've heard men talk about it that were full blown narcissists. They use that against women, and they brag
Yes.
about it. They brag about it.
Yes.
They flat out brag about how simple it is to sweep a woman off her feet and then do whatever you want with no remorse or no regret of just using them and moving on.
My favorite word is we're gullible.
Well, you're uninformed.
That's what I tell people all the time. I said, never call someone out when they're not. Look at people sometimes, because this is what I've had to do as an educator. Kids will say things and they, it'll create this ooh, and I'm like, hold on, don't do that, because a person would never say what they just said if they were informed. So now let's put information into them and expand their horizons, because sometimes people have a very limited perspective based on a very limited environment that they've been in. So let's pour into them, give them an opportunity to become enlightened.
Yeah. Hey, I want to just read this off. Michael Ray said, if I could pray for Miss Etta Carver,
Etta Caver.
Caver.
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. Yeah, I guess she's in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I will definitely pray for her. And guys, if you could pray for her too, more prayer, the better.
Yes.
There's power in prayer. And even if you don't know her, pray. I pray for a lot of people I don't know.
Same.
And we need to, actually.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, pray for her. I don't know the situation. I haven't watched Miss Anita's channel in a while. I haven't watched a lot of channels. Yesterday was the first. I watched Cerebral last night and got involved in that, and that was awesome. But lately, I haven't watched much at all. I really don't have a lot of time.
I don't know how you're able to do the stuff that you are doing, Brent. To be honest,
I don't know.
I just want to figure it out.
It's just a passion I have, and I find a way to do it. But with my heart,
diverticulitis.
Diverticulitis.
So
mm-hmm.
It's painful.
But maybe with my hurt leg, it'll be a little bit of a blessing. Maybe I could do more YouTube stuff.
Rothy has asked that we also pray for Miss Anita's comfort, because she is pretty close to her, and this definitely seems to be something that's pulling at her.
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, pray for her too, because you have a good friend that's going through that, and I think she said her name and she looked up to her, and so yeah, most definitely, we will do that. And guys, if you guys have a prayer request, send it to my email. I put that in the church prayer request too. And you don't have to say what it is. It's between you and God. Some people feel they have to tell you what they want to pray for. Some people, it's unspoken. They just want you to pray for them on that thing. God knows what it is. We can do that too. And,
that's true.
Me and my wife Sandy look at that, and we'll pray about it, and we'll send it to my dad's church and my mother-in-law's church. So that's 3 churches of prayer requests.
Yes,
that's a lot of people involved in your prayer. So yeah, send me if you want me to pray. Do that. But anyway.
I just want to thank J10. She has been really supporting the comment section on my new ministry. Just want to shout out to her. She has been
ministry.
Yes, I have been vlogging. I have been posting food for a few months. So yeah, she's been incredible.
Nice.
She's been giving a lot of seeds for future content. Her questions have been very insightful, and I know they're blessing other people. So it's been really great.
Send me the link, and I can put it on my community page if you want me to advertise it.
Well, you know what? I'll email it to you.
Okay, yeah, and I'll do that. Yeah, I mean, most definitely. Yeah, J10's awesome though.
Yes, she is.
Yeah,
She's amazing. I wish I had a friend like her when I was her age.
Yeah, right.
True. It's hard to find some people. I'm telling you, when you get to be our age, you realize, and you see a lot of young people, and you be like, "Oh my God, I wish I had a friend like that when I was that age." Oh my God. Yeah, she's one of those people.
Mm-hmm. Hardworking, working many hours, just character.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, Brent, there's something I hear a lot of the time. That a lot of ladies bring up the story of Ruth and Boaz,
Mm-hmm.
but they never look at the actual dynamic of the relationship. Wasn't Boaz the cousin?
Yeah, he was.
He was much older than Ruth.
Yeah, he was Ruth's son-in-law. I believe he was married to someone else in Ruth's bloodline.
Boaz?
Mm-hmm.
I thought they were cousins.
Where there was some relation. I know there was definitely a relationship with Ruth. It was someone. I'm gonna check it. Don't take my word for it. Let me go and
Well,
but I do remember he was definitely tied to Ruth's family. I mean, not Ruth's family. He was to Rahab's family. Sorry.
Well, I wanted to bring up there was a big difference in age gap. I mean, Boaz was a landowner. He was childless, but Ruth was much younger than him.
Yes,
Naomi wanted to get them together so that Ruth could be comfortable, you know, to be a wife, to live a good life of comfort. But Boaz was a lot older. And I hear this story repeatedly over and over, and the ladies are misquoting it, saying that Boaz was the same age as Ruth, and it was anything but the
no.
Boaz was like 70, 80 years old.
Why do you guys think that I have no problem with older men and younger women? Now, I'm not saying it's for everybody. I'm just saying it's not.
Oh, wait, you're not going to start talking about the rest home again, are you?
Pardon me?
You're not going to start talking about the rest home again, are you?
I didn't say that. That's what Pretty Poodle said. I said she thinks that only 70-some-year-old men are hanging around in nursing homes, but she just don't know.
Oh,
Wait,
you guys are tearing me up. That was just a riot.
Wait until she sees. Wait, in a few years she's gonna see. She's still a young pup. Give her about 10 years, and she's gonna start to see. She's still a pup.
MW said, please share the link. I'll put it on my community page when she gets it.
Yeah, there was definitely a relation there, a previous relation. Yes, Michelle. She said wrestle. It was funny. Everybody called her rude. I said, no, she's just uninformed. She doesn't know yet. Yeah, understand. Younger people, when you're younger, you have a projection of what old is until you get there or you get close.
You get there.
Right.
You know, the funny thing is your body ages, but your mind doesn't.
True.
Yeah, that is so true. Oh my God.
Your mind does not age.
It's, you know, I don't feel as old as I am. My body feels it most definitely, but my mind is like, I don't know.
Bart, you got a robot boot on your foot.
There you go, Michael. Yeah, she was related. I knew Boaz was in the family.
Robot boot. Yeah, I do. But
you know, there was a guy up in Alaska. He was riding a four-wheeler in the snow, and he was looking at a job. And what he didn't see that when they brushed out the trail and then the snow fell on it, there was a tree stub sticking up, one of them small ones. His foot was hanging down below the peg, and he hit that.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what happened.
Yeah.
It was. Oof. That was the nastiest foot injury I ever heard of. But it just splintered so much. It was bad.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what? My foot is hurting now that you're talking about it.
I'm sorry, brother.
I fractured that little bone, and it's just so irritating because it's just like a consistent pain that just, you know, it's not excruciating that I can't stand it, but it's just there and it's irritating.
You feel your heartbeat in that thing.
Did they give you anything for comfort, Brent? They give you anything to relax it?
No, they give me some Motrin. That's about it. There's really nothing they can do.
J10 wants you to.
J10 wants a recap.
She wants a recap of what happened to your foot.
Oh, okay. What happened is I was at work. I rolled my ankle, and there's a little bone that's in your foot, like right above the arch, and I fractured that. And the crazy thing is I did it on my right foot, a couple of years ago. So now I got matching fractures on each foot. Um, and yeah, I mean, it's painful. It hurts. When I did, it's weird. It seems like when I do it, it hurts, but not as bad. But like the next day, it's like I'm in so much pain.
Mm-hmm.
The swelling comes on.
Yeah, it swells, and then it's yeah,
but it's what gets me, that deep down burn.
Yeah,
I know, because I exploded my elbow.
I mean, I had that night. I came home. I was in pain. I had Sandy put a icy hot on it. I just and that helped a bit, with that heat. But it just, and then they took me in for X-rays. They say, yeah, you got a fracture. So they put me in a boot, and now I'm waiting for orthopedics to call me, which is supposed to call me in a couple days. I'll call them tomorrow, and then they'll figure out. I think they're going to do more X-rays and figure out how bad it really is, I guess, and what I need to do. Right now, the thing is they put me in a boot and said, try to stay off it as much as possible, elevate it, and like you see me on my couch, I've been spending a lot of time there.
That's got to drive you crazy.
It does.
You praying for your healing, Brent.
Yeah, I'm gonna heal fast because I mean, we've been, we went out to dinner. We've been doing stuff together, even with this injury. Mm-hmm. But it's just irritating. I can't move that quick, and it's all clumpy, and I'm moving slow because it's sore, and it just it's not the same. And yeah. But anyway, I mean, it is what it is.
Brent, I shattered the radial bone, the head of it in my elbow.
Oh,
they just had to saw the thing off and put a golf tee in there.
What? I'm too old to be hearing about people breaking things because I've never broken anything. So I need some different energy to kind of come into this space.
I was 33 when I did that.
I haven't broken anything, and I'm trying to get out of this world without breaking anything.
Yeah, what's funny is my collarbone. I broke in the Army, and I didn't. I was in pain, but I didn't get it treated, and it healed, but it's like deformed. And if you look at my where my collarbone is, it's kind of weird looking.
Yeah.
Huh?
It sticks up higher than the other one.
Yeah, it does, and I should have got it checked out, but
there's really no way to put a set on a collarbone.
Yeah.
You can't really put a cast on it. It's kind of a
well, you can't, no. But I guess they could have reset it somehow, maybe. I don't know if I want that.
Yeah. When they did my arm, they actually pulled the bone out of the elbow, sawed it off, and then drove a T, or it looks like a doorknob with a cup in it and a spike in the bottom to go on the bone. Oof.
Wow. And then they put it back in?
I can't get through a metal detector. It's going to go off.
My brother was like that. He had got into a motorcycle accident, and he had a rod put in his leg, and he had trouble getting through metal detectors ever since.
Yeah, I can get through one.
Hey guys,
call for jury duty or something.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's on your mind?
What's on your mind?
Yeah. Oh. What's on your mind? Hello, how's it going?
Hello. Hi.
Hello. Hi. How are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just gonna just say, because there was a conversation earlier about dating older men. I have to disagree with that, and it's from experience. It's okay if you date if an age appropriate woman dates an older man, like say she's in her 30s, 40s and she's dating a man much older than her, that's fine. But if she's like 19, 20,
Oh Lord,
no,
no,
Oh,
no,
no, I'm
no.
definitely not okay with that.
no,
No.
no.
And I was referring
No.
to children, people with
Yeah, I
undeveloped
was
frontal lobes. No.
I was 18 and I was with a 45-year-old, and it was
Holy
very,
moly!
yeah, it was a very abusive relationship. We did not fit.
Hmm.
We did not have any type of
You have
he just
nothing in
sort of like
common.
treated, yeah, he just sort of like treated me like I was a child pretty much. And
You
when
Mhm.
I
were a
think
kid.
about, yeah, and when I think about like, you know, age gap dating, I have a like I I get kind of like a little triggered. And I'm like, no, because I see so many of these toxic dudes out there saying, "Oh, the younger the better." And it's like, no,
Oh no, no,
no.
no. I'm
I
52. I'm turning 52 this month. I'm not dating a baby.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll be 40 soon, but I've been in a relationship with an older man when I was 18, and it was not, it was tragic. It was just
Yeah.
a lot of narcissistic abuse, a
Mhm.
lot of you just straight up physical, mental, emotional abuse, and I just don't promote age gap dating when it comes to younger people. And a
Mhm.
lot of people get mad at me for saying that, but I'm like, no, because from experience, they
Yeah,
have nothing in common.
I totally understand. I have to go based on my experience, and mine was very favorable. So I can only tell people based upon my experience, and same as you, because they're both. You are telling no lies, because I have seen some of the worst situations that makes a very very good argument against it.
Yeah,
Um,
it was definitely a predatory relationship. I was young and I was in like a very bad place. I didn't have like the parental support that I had when I was
Hmm.
young. And then, you know how some kids say, "Well, once I'm 18, I'm out of the house, do things." But it's like you got to be careful out there when, even when you get out away from the nest and you go and you're starting getting into adulthood, you have to be very careful out there, because it was it's very predatory, and they do prey, and a lot of these toxic men out there, they do prey on younger women. And
mhm.
sadly, it was a white guy who did this. I was
Mm.
White
Yes,
doesn't
he
make you
older
right.
white man, an older white
Yeah,
man, and he closet racist.
a dirty old white man was a dirty young white man. He just
Yep,
got older.
yep,
That's right.
Pure and
Yeah, he was
simple.
always that way.
yep.
He just turned
Yeah.
out to be old. Yeah.
And he was a
Ugh.
closet racist. He did a lot of like horrible things to me, like so
Mhm.
bad that it was just like devastating. But I never gave up on interracial relationships. I just realized that's that individual person's problem, not the whole race of white men. You know,
Yeah.
I think like
Right.
that. I don't blame just one race for what one guy in that race for on all of them. No, it's just
Yeah.
that was a toxic relationship I was in, and I was very young, and I just didn't understand. You
Right.
know,
Mm.
it
Yeah.
took me, it took me years to get into therapy. It's just like that's why I'm like so triggered about age gap relationships. It's like, oh my god, no,
Was it your
because
Yeah.
first relationship? What's your on your mind? Was it your
it
first?
was, yes, it was my very
Mhm.
first. I lost my virginity to him.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh wow.
Yes, he was my very first love,
It's hard when
very
you get
first
that
relationship.
huge, that huge dump at that age. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
To be your first. I was fortunate to have so many other relationships before I met mine, but to have your first, I couldn't even imagine what you had to go
Yes,
through.
it was very
Mm.
devastating, heartbroken. We share a child together. It was just hard. It
Ooh.
was a really hard relation. Yeah, I had a child at 19,
Uh,
and
yeah.
he was just toxic. He was very toxic person. He was a drug
Mhm.
addict,
Oh.
and yeah,
Oh.
I went through a lot. Yeah, it was really like,
I'm sorry, but I'm having medieval justice thoughts right now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Right.
because it was really bad. I mean, it was just like devastating to me, because I did care for him. I loved him, but it was like I knew that this was not right, because I knew deep down inside it was not right. But at the time when I was young, I didn't think about that. You know how some kids like, well, now I'm 18, I'm grown, I don't care. But then you
Yeah.
go back when you get older, you start to think about that. You're like, wait a minute, what if this
Yeah.
was
Mm.
your kid?
Yeah. You see it for what it is rather than the
yeah. And that's why I kind of understand young people, because young people don't see it that way until they get older, and then they go back and listen and think about it, and they're like, "Oh my God, I couldn't believe I did
goodness,
that."
Isn't that true? I say all the time, I wish I could just wrap them in bubble wrap until that frontal lobe develops, and then kind of ease them and transition them into.
So
well, you know, I'm 50. Yeah. Well, I'm almost 52, and for me, 30 years old is at least considered mature.
Yeah.
I haven't met my future wife yet, so I say 30, but my preference is 10 years older than my oldest kid, which would be about 38, 39 minimum for me personally. Any younger, with a not going any farther younger than 30, it would really depend on her maturity level.
Right. And I mean,
it's been, because, you know, that's getting, my oldest is 28.
Yeah.
And so getting close to my children's age, I just kind of get weirded out when I get down there. I prefer at least a decade older.
Yeah. The one I had with him, she's 19 now. So I get scared all the time because you hear some of these podcasts, you know, dudes out there, and you hear all that. She's biracial. So you hear about them saying all the fetishization of biracial girls. And then she's like 19 and it's like, I'm scared. You know, she's in college right now, but I'm still scared. It's like, oh my God, these older men, you know, because I've been in her shoes, and it's like, she doesn't think like that. But I see myself in her when I was young, like vulnerable, you know, not knowing the situation, like just a mass difference in the relationship. And it's just, I worry about her.
Well, I guarantee you, because your mom, and she has been listening to you tell those stories.
Yes.
JT has a question. She asked, what's on your mind? Did you have a friend or family who pointed out that 18 and 45 was a strange combo?
My mom didn't, because she was young when she met my dad. My dad was older than hers. My mom was actually 17, and my dad was in his 30s.
Okay.
Whoa.
And that was way back in the 70s and stuff. And you know just how those
Yeah.
So she didn't really think about it, you know, like that. Because the era she came from, you know.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead, Brent.
No, I'm like in the same situation, came from out of the same situation in a way. Because my mom was 17. My dad was 19. He was 2 years. They're both teenagers, so they were just teenage kids that got in trouble. But I
didn't even have friends. Most of my friends, they gave the worst advice. They were kind of toxic themselves. So I was young. I was just surrounded by toxic people, just complete toxic people. And that was the easiest thing for a narcissist like him to just go right in, swoop in, and just snatch me up. And there's young girls like that. There's young girls out there like that these narcissists like to prey on.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
what really hoping that you are. I hate to say it, but they hope that you're young and dumb. You know, if you don't have any elders. Like I had older parents. My parents were older than the average when they started having kids. And then by the time I came into the world, they were like 40 and 44. And then my siblings were like 12 to 20 something years older than me. So I was surrounded by a lot of experience and saw things. But I can't imagine having the situation that you had, because to be honest with you, like you said, you don't really have anyone who knows anything different. That doesn't really.
I mean, even my grandma had my mom when she was young. My mom had me when she was young. Me and my brother, and I just pretty much went down. It's just a generation thing.
Yeah.
And now I worry about my daughters because I want to break that cycle. I don't want any older men going after my kids because I'm gonna be shotgun at the door.
Yeah.
You know, and their dad, you know, is the same way. The husband, because I have another child from another relationship, so he's very protective of his daughter, and he's very protective of my eldest daughter. So he's like, oh heck no.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and somebody said in the comments that biracial girls are fetishized.
They
yes.
definitely
They
are.
are.
That's
They
a
are.
fact.
I
That is
got-
a fact.
Especially for Black men.
Oh yeah. Well, they're a preference. Well, you know what? Even with white people, they're a preference for a lot. Yeah. I mean, biracial kids.
Yeah, it's pretty much with even with any race of men, biracial girls are fetishized
Yeah.
big time. And I just worry about that because I don't want my daughter having to go through the situation I went through when I was young. I'm glad that she does not have any kids. She's 19. She has no kids. She wants none. And I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that.
Yes.
I mean, I'm okay if they don't want to have any grandkids. I'm fine with that because of what I went through and what I experienced and what my daughter sees nowadays in the dating pool. She's pretty scared. She doesn't want to run into guys like her dad. So she's scared of that. So I think she doesn't. Yeah, because she's seen what I went through and the experience I went through because she was living with me, of course, and she's seen, the abuse take place as a child. And it was hard for not just her, but for me because I was young and I didn't have all the resources or help to help raise my daughter. He practically trapped me in the house. I couldn't go anywhere when I was like, if I went somewhere like to my mom's house, he would call the whole time. He would call all day. And when I pick up, if I don't pick up in time, I got yelled at. And when I got home, it was an argument and then there was physical violence.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I was a very timid, scared 18-year-old girl. 19-year-old, 20. I was really timid and scared. And my mom, she was worried about me, but she was like, I'm grown. She's got that. She was in that stage. Well, you're grown. I can't tell you what to do. She was kind of like that. You're grown. I can't tell you. And that makes me mad because it don't matter if your kids are grown. I wouldn't care if my daughter was 50 years old and I was still alive. I would protect her.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care if she yells in my face, says, Mom, I'm a grown person. I don't care. That's my child. I
agree with Brent. I mean, the perfect woman is the perfect woman for a wife, for him or for me. Her skin tone is irrelevant.
Yeah.
It's the character and the compatibility that means everything.
Yeah, but that's the one thing
I do have a preference. I mean, I'm not going to name it on here, but it's not. Believe it or not, it's not biracial. But
everybody has a preference.
I'm not going to limit myself because for me, my future wife has a purpose in my life. And
that's what I do. I open my options to anybody. I don't just say, well, this one person, one group of person, none of that. I open my options. But the thing is, what scares me about today and age interracial relationships is that it's not genuine anymore. It used to be genuine. It's not so genuine anymore. You see a lot of people coming in there being closet on both sides, on any side of the race. They're being closet racist, and they're just fetishizing to have biracial children. And when I started dating, that's not what I was looking for. I wasn't thinking about that when I met her dad. I wasn't thinking about any of that. I was thinking about trying to find a guy to make me happy. I wasn't thinking about his race.
Yeah, that seems weird. Fetishize what your kids will be like.
You'd be surprised.
They're talking about designer babies now.
But I never thought, we're going to have cute kids, and we did have cute kids. But I didn't. That wasn't my focus. I just love my wife.
Right.
And I say that I don't care what they look like. People tell me, well, don't you want them to look like your grandparents? No, if I did, I would clone them. But no, I don't care what they look like. I don't care if they, they say, well, they might favor black people. Okay, so what? I don't care. I just want my kids to be happy, grandkids to be happy, and I want them to be successful, good people.
Exactly. Happy and healthy. That's what matters.
Because I'm telling you, you'd be surprised, especially in this day and time. that 21 to 30, not 36, 39, that age group has such, I get so much, and my sister as well. There is so many that are well put together on the surface, but they're dealing with a lot of mental health issues. So we're asking for what they're going to look like. Let's hope that they're healthy and whole on the inside, because there is so much, and the suicide rate, the largest
so
number,
many young celebrities are dying too.
Yes, it is.
I've seen at least 4 or 5 young celebrities die from suicide as of late, and it's been going on since like June.
Yes,
they've been just dropping off.
Hey LVN, good to see you.
It's very high.
The foot's doing good.
You don't mind me asking, I don't know if you mentioned it, but how do you meet someone? How did you meet someone? Was it through like a dating situation?
I met him through I met him through a friend of mine. A friend of mine was dating his friend's son. His friend's son is the same age as her. Okay. So they were in my age group. So I met him when I went to I guess her boyfriend's dad's house. I went there, and that's where I met him. And it wasn't like, that's just how it happened. I was young, and I was like a puppy love type of.
You don't have to make any apologies. You were impressionable, and somebody preyed upon you.
Yeah.
And that's why they want young girls, because they're easy to
want you guys before that frontal lobe develops, because they know that they can pour into you and reshape you. They don't want seasoned veterans, because we are unable to be contorted. They want someone who they can mold, and
that's what he tried to do. But I think I realized, like, because my mom was also in a domestic violence relationship with my dad. So when I thought about that, I was like, what am I doing here? Why am I in this relationship? And I'm being abused. I'm repeating. It's almost like a generation repeating the generation down. It's like it's a repeat of it. My mom got abused. I was around when that happened, and then it just passed down to me, and then I ended up getting abused. And it's like, whoa, that's when I was like, that's it, no more. I'm out. Yeah. And it was tough, because he had a way with people, as narcissists do. They have a way with people, and they have a way of, that's why you be very careful with narcissists. You don't trust your secrets or any of your issues. Like, if you're dealing with mental issues, if you're dealing with physical issues, physical disability or anything, they will use that against you.
Yeah.
So
they will weaponize your weakness.
Yep, they will definitely. And that's what he did. He weaponized all my weaknesses, and it was just devastating having to get out of that relationship. But I managed to get out. I had to go through a lot of therapy for years. Like, I'm still in therapy, because that's why I said narcissists are dangerous to be around. They're dangerous to be in a relationship with, because they will put you in therapy for years. I mean, look, I'm still in therapy.
I definitely understand. I'm literally praying for the wife of a narcissist that I unloaded. Trust me. And I don't even know her like that, but I know there is, when you one came into your eye line, this is not a gift they gave just to you. People who have to live with them have to endure them on a far worse level. That woman probably deserves 10 crowns for surviving this person, for going on 26
I'm
years.
telling you, it get to get your blood pressure
up. I hope she keeps them, because I don't want
them. I mean, it's so bad to where I had gained weight. I was just depressed. I didn't feel like myself. I didn't feel like myself. I developed an eating disorder, actually. Just binge eating. Like, that's how bad it got, and trying to get out of these situations with him was hard. And then on top of that, you're dealing with a drug addict. And when you're living with a narcissist on top of a drug addict, that is a combination for hell itself. You're already hell is already on earth for you if you're living in a house with that guy. So when he had his withdrawals, yes, there was physical abuse. When I tried to fight him all the time because I was trying to make sure that me and my daughter had food to eat, it was hell. It was pure hell. And I'm glad, I got the sense when being in that situation, I got out of it. I managed to get out of it, but it really just left lasting, like kind of like a scar. Like it scorned me for so many years. It
You'll
made me
never be the
mad.
same.
Yeah.
What was the thing what was the safety that dropped in for you to escape from that?
It was when I had a nervous breakdown and I ended up hospitalized because of my nervous breakdown.
Oh wow.
And that was
And that was the boiling point. And my mom, my mom was, and my mom was there. My mom, I was telling her about it, and then just telling her about the situation. She couldn't do much because she was already dealing with her own demons.
Sure.
And I didn't expect her to help me when she's
Right.
dealing with her own demons. But I managed to get out, and I did have some people from a program I was in, and they helped me get out of that situation.
Awesome.
I kept it quiet for years when I was with him, until
Absolutely.
I finally just broke and said, I
Mhm.
need help. And then
Yeah.
that's when they said, we'll help you get out of there. And they helped me get out of the situation.
Awesome.
But it was hell on earth to get out of there. Like every turn,
Oh.
like it's like it's almost like when when you seen the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard situation. It was like that. Like
Mm-hmm.
every turn, every corner, I was being attacked. Like he was attacking me for this, he was attacking me for that. You're a terrible mom, you're this, you're that, you're
Yeah.
you
Gotta keep
know
you down. They have to keep you down. And
yeah, he tried so hard to keep me down, but I kept fighting to get back up. I tried to
bless
stay
you.
as strong as I could. But man, it did finally, like, the scars, like, and that's why I had a problem with like age gap dating, because of that
Mm-hmm.
situation. That's what really made me like stay clear from that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you know what, I'm staying. But even then, there's narcissist men in my own age group. So
Absolutely.
let's
We were
be
just
real
talking
there.
about that before you came in. We were
Yeah,
talking
Well, yeah, they're
about
just an older version of a younger person.
right. That's
exactly.
it. And the thing
Yeah.
is that when you try to get out and you try to escape, especially in a situation like you were in, because they felt like they found the perfect, dumping
Yep,
pool.
I
You know what I'm
didn't
saying?
I didn't
So,
have any no family support. I was
mhm,
young and reckless, young and dumb. I'm not gonna sit here and lie. I was young and dumb. I was that
mhm.
puppy love stage, and that was the best opportunity to come and get me. That was the
Yeah.
best
Mhm.
the love bombing, the abuse, and let's not forget the honeymoon period.
Oh yeah,
It just was a
Oh
yeah.
cycle of
yeah.
They
hell.
Oh yeah.
they
Oh
offer
yeah.
they offer great sex, and they're,
Yep.
the love bombing, all the
The
promising, all the
gifts,
smiles, all
all
the
the
feel good
gifts. Oh my
emotions.
goodness.
They just
Hmm.
pour that charm all over you, and then when nobody's looking, here comes the fire and the acid.
Oh
Yep.
yeah. And everybody, they're real good at playing the game where everybody
Yeah.
thinks on the outside that they're the best thing in the world,
Oh yeah,
and you're the
Yeah.
oh
problem.
yeah.
When I was young, I used to be an introvert, but then I became an extrovert, but then I became an introvert because, like, I got afraid of people. Like, I'm like, Jesus, if I have to deal with a relationship like this, God knows what else is out there, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
And I
Well,
got
that's just self-preservation.
Yeah.
yeah.
You did what you
I
needed to do to survive.
yeah, I got really scared, and like even now I'm still an introvert, but I'm just like slowly going out once in a while, but just it's just what you see today, and you get the emotions of everybody else, and you feel the just anger and
Hmm.
vitriol of the rest of humanity. You're like, Jesus Christ, I'm staying in the house.
Yeah.
I don't even want to go out. And I try, and even then, like, it's hard to find people to talk to when you go out there. It's like I have better chances of finding people online to talk to than I do outside.
Well, you know why? Because very often, especially with the people that you know, it's that proximity thing that often brings contempt. You know, you can go through all this stuff and people can witness you go through it and they see you, you know, all what you've gone through and come through, but they'll still find a reason and way to, you know, to say the words that your life was better than theirs. People always try to minimize what you've been through.
Plus, I try to avoid. I live in a black neighborhood, so plus I try to avoid nosy neighbors. They want to be in your business all the time, so it's like, no, stay out my business. This is And if you don't like, it's just weird. Like if you don't come outside, they always want to think, oh, what's going on in that house? Ain't nothing going on in here that you need to know.
Oh yeah,
I'm living fabulous.
You're not giving them anything, and they call you a snob. Trust me, I've been there and done that with the neighbors. They're like, oh, you don't have anything to do with it.
They need the ministry of mind your own damn business.
Yeah, seriously. Like I'm staying in the house. I don't know you.
Afro Angelique and Michael Ray, do you guys want a wrench? I'll give you one if you want it. I just want to put that out there.
You know, Afro Angelique, you still can't time me out, sweetheart, when I'm acting up. It doesn't work that way.
But you can mute him. You can mute him, though.
No, you
if you don't want to hear from him anymore, you can certainly
He
block
has a
him.
wrench. I don't think you can mute somebody with a wrench.
Can you mute him?
You can block them. Trust me. I have blocked people with wrenches. Trust and believe it can be done.
Yeah.
Well,
but one thing I will not do. I'm not going to deal with this petty stuff. You will never know it, but I will not. I will like, okay, 1, 2, okay, that's it. Because see, I play softball, not baseball. 2 strikes and you are out.
Yeah.
Michael Ray, it's okay if you. I'll just give you one. I mean, people I trust, I give wrenches to, and you guys been around, and you know. And the more wrenches, the better, I think.
Tell us, mind your business. Oh yes, Thelma. Okay, right. People want to know, and you know that what they want you. They want you to hang around them a lot because they think you're gonna start, you know, unpacking a lot of stuff.
Those people are so dull. They have to be in everybody's business.
Exactly.
It's so
difficult.
boring. They're not happy unless they know some kind of dirt and scandal in somebody else's life.
Yeah, I'm not that type of person. Yeah, I like being by myself. It's where I find my creativity is by myself and doing things by myself. Absolutely. I like drawing, and I like just.
I've learned that
I never get bored. People will ask me all the time. I never. Trust me. There is like 10 tons of things I should be doing that I'm putting off. Trust me.
It even irritates my mom that I don't go out as much. She gets irritated. She'll call me, try to force me outside. I'm like, you shouldn't do that to an introvert. You should never do that to them because it's just draining. I get drained with just too much people around, and there's too much of this, and it's just like it's just too much, and it's just I can't take it. It's like, oh no, I can't take this out there. I'm at the point. Yeah.
So that you don't have to like. I try. I'm not always successful with it, but people feel like I go hot, cold. No, it's not that. It's just that sometimes people will pull you and pull you and pull you. Like I'm having to do that even with some of the people online. It's like, you guys don't understand the word no. I don't know how many times I'm going to say it. No, you're pushing too much. You know, it's like, because at some point, I'm not going to block you, but I'm just, you won't interact with me at all. And you're going to think, what did you do? What did I do wrong? Because I don't hear from you. No, it's just that I need creative space. I am an artist. I need lots of creative space. I did not retire early from teaching to give myself to the world. I did that so that I could have more time for me, more me time.
Yeah. And I agree with you, Brent, on the whole thing about marriage is important for a relationship, that you shouldn't be out. I mean, let's be honest. The STIs, STDs are at an all-time high. Why are you out there messing around and sleeping around with just anybody and everybody, you know, and you're not thinking about
doing that. People don't realize that it's very expensive trying to maintain multiple households.
Well,
Yes,
yeah. If you have kids
exactly.
from, yeah, and then plus the kids you have
Give the
are in,
children what they need. Trust me, I have seen the result of someone who thought they had it all figured out. Now, the children turned out okay on the surface, but like I said, that mental health is struggling because they did not have someone there. And then when another
Yep.
child comes into the world, they feel like they already had to share you, and now you didn't went out and got another one. I mean, this is what people do, and the children, it's not
I
fair.
feel
When I
so much
see
for the
actors
children.
doing this and
yeah.
entertainers doing this and they're glorifying it, it's like, don't send me another
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
article
like,
with that person's name on it, making another baby.
Like,
Just
I've
enough.
lost all respect for Nick Cannon. I don't even want to. That he is the most disgusting person I've ever seen. Like, you're
Yes,
making all
he
these
is.
babies, and you're
Who's
not
Nick
taking.
Cannon?
Guess what? You're gonna be broke when you're gonna be just broke. You ain't gonna
Who's
have.
Nick? Who's
There ain't
Nick
gonna be no
Cannon?
money for.
That.
Yeah.
There's one young lady I think who took him to court, and she's getting her child support, but I haven't heard any of the other ones. And he has health problems.
Yeah.
So
You're
if he does
spreading
not
these
have
health.
a doctor,
Go ahead. Go
yes,
ahead.
he has a lot of health issues, and he's passing
One
it
of the
on.
babies
He's
died
already
because
lost one
the
child.
health problem. One of the babies died.
Mm-hmm.
One of his babies died because of
Yep.
their health problems. He's spreading, unhealthy seed around, to other women
Yes.
and having all these babies. And these babies could end up with lupus just like him, could end up sick just
Yeah.
like him, and he doesn't
It's
care.
that. Not only that, heaven forbid anything happens to them, and he hasn't, claimed any of these children, and he hasn't remarried anybody. And I keep telling people this. Everybody keeps talking about, well, they're going to be taken care of. How do you know they're going to be taken care of? Mariah is his only ex-wife. Everything that he probably has is going to go to her. And that one child whose mother filed for child support. So they'll be going to Mariah and asking her for pennies and popcorn because she's probably going to get everything that he's tied to. Her and his children that he had with her in
And I
wedlock.
can't understand why these women are laying up with him. What's wrong with you? What you think you're gonna get a bag out of it? That's the thing. This needs to be. It's all about money and aesthetics. That bull crap again. Money and aesthetics, and I'm so tired of this crap. Money is can only get you so far. Aesthetics can only get you so far.
Money's
old. Oh, go ahead, Brent.
No, money's just a tool. I
exactly.
mean,
these kids, trust me, these kids don't care anything. Yeah, they like the labels and the iPhones and all this stuff, but what I hear them talking about in their 30s and 40s is that my dad didn't spend enough time with me. This is what I'm hearing still from my nieces and nephews and stuff. This stuff is real.
Yeah,
and
where's my dad? I don't know who my dad is. I don't know who my dad is. I don't care who my mom is, this, that, because my dad wasn't around. And it's like, come on, ladies. It's not just the men, ladies too. Stop laying up with narcissists. Stop laying don't do that. Take advice from me, someone who was in a relationship with a narcissist. Don't do that, please. Just don't. Stay away from men like that. Because the red flags right there, love bomb right there, bam. That's when you know it's a red flag. When they're all up in your face, they're all up in your stuff, and they want to just get into your pants right away. Bam, that's red flag. Stay away from it.
Breathe. Won't even allow you time to breathe. They don't want you to have any dreams or aspirations. They need to be your dream and aspiration.
Yep. And stop looking to these celebrities as they're not God. Celebrities aren't God. They're humans.
That's
and
right.
they are imperfect. If you need to, look to God for guidance. Don't look to human beings for guidance.
Yes. And they think because they have money and resources that they can do whatever they want.
Oh, yeah. And people think that money is the magic pill. I'm like, are you kidding me?
And especially those that are looking at looks. Looks aren't everything. I'm gonna be honest. Looks aren't. They are not everything. Because you can be with them. Yeah, you get old.
Yeah.
And that's why it makes me so sad when I see these celebrities getting all this plastic surgery to try to stay young. That's not going to make that man stay with you. There's something wrong with that man. There's nothing wrong with you, honey. There's something wrong with that man. You know,
looks don't last, because I went back to high school reunion, and I graduated back in the 80s, and 89, and there were a couple women that were knockouts. Now they don't look so hot. It's like, wow.
Oh, they changed.
Age hit them, and they gained weight, and they don't look like they used to.
Especially if they thought they were all that in a bag of chips in high school, and then they thought they was all that in a bag of chips. Then life got to them. Father Time tapped them on the shoulder, said, "Uh-uh."
They peaked. Some of them peaked in high school, and everything went downhill after then.
Like one of the popular guys in my school, he was like the most popular guy, but he was a jackass,
They usually are.
Yep, he was a total jackass, and now he has no teeth. He done messed up on crack. He looks a mess.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. But some of those people, things don't turn out very well for them, because a lot of them are mean, because they don't like themselves very much. There's a lot of fronting. Without that little crowd that marches around them and claps for them and everything when they're doing inappropriate things, once all of that crowd disintegrates, they're empty. They have no longer an entourage, because really those people don't like them anyway. They just follow them around because they're popular.
Yeah. Well,
me and my brother was talking about that, about the guy from high school, and he's like, man, he used to be the most popular guy in school, but now look at him, he's a wasted. And I said, yeah, he's an absolute waste man. That's what he is, an absolute waste man. It's sad.
And those are the ones that take it the hardest, because they were used to that popularity, having everybody look at them like they were something, and then when life catches up with them and nobody cares, it's hard.
He said a gummy player.
Like what?
Rothy said a gummy player.
Well, that's what happens when you base all of your self-worth on your looks, and you never develop as a person. There's no maturity in you. You never become an adult. You have no value other than the reflection in the mirror, and that fades.
mirror.
That really fades.
Many of them don't have. They don't really have very good role models. See, I feel so blessed, because I had older siblings that were so much older than me that I didn't look up to people my age. I looked up to my siblings. I could care less. When it was time for me to come home from school, I didn't have to worry about fighting with anybody over no telephone, because I was not interested in talking to anybody over the telephone. Look, I just saw you in school. I'll see you tomorrow. But all that on the phone, and that I saw a lot of that, students getting involved with the wrong crowds, going down the wrong road, and then you find out they don't have older siblings. They come from mixed parents. I mean, not mixed as far as race, but there's like 3 or 4 fathers parenting, with children in that same household, it's a lot of disruption, and everybody's looking for their anchor, and they're wondering, and they're looking for social groups. Many of these people end up growing up and they join sororities and fraternities and stuff, and they wonder why you have no interest in that. And I'm like, I don't know. I just don't feel like I need to be a part of a group. Because, when you come from and I come from not just an older family, but a big one. So I'm fighting for space. I could get a closet where I can go in and journal. And that's good for me. You have 9 people plus 2 parents living in the same house at the same time. I mean, it's like, that's a lot of, you're young at that time, but you don't realize, right, what those older siblings feeling like, how to share all that, that small little space with people. So you're fighting for space. You're not looking for a group to run to. You're looking for a space that you can be off to yourself.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, Mark. Good to see you. Mark's in the building.
Hey, Mark.
All right. Good to see you, Mark.
Yeah, but I just want to say, looks aren't everything. It's all about what's in the heart that matters, so and then somebody's character over color, character over, looks. I think the society we live in now, like people are like the dating pool, they're so blind in there. They're so blind. They don't know what love is.
No.
They really don't. They really don't. They think love looks like a pretty face and pretty eyes and hair and all that. That's not love.
You
That
could
stuff
see
fades
it.
away.
You could see it sliding off. As I say, the cheese sliding off the cracker.
Yep.
When music videos came. I'm serious. When the music videos came and they got to see that same beautiful entertainer looking the same way tomorrow, it's like,
Yeah.
dude, don't you realize this is a recording? And that person had a 20-piece stylist kit putting them together. And then from that world, it evolves to social media. It's just from one extreme to the next. So now it's like everybody's walking around trying to be something that has not,
and you know, they marry these men for like 10 like 13 12 10 years, and then next thing you know, he's out the door cheating on her with somebody younger, and it's like, well, why did you notice the red flags from jump, that this guy wasn't about, you know, loving you for who you are? He was about your looks.
Yeah.
You know, he was more about your looks than he was about you yourself. Because you hear all these guys crying, well, maybe it didn't work out because maybe she was this, that. And I was like, no. When it comes to celebrities, it's all about looks. It's all about image. It's not about actually looking within the person and sticking with that person, because that is your person. That's your soulmate from within your soul. No, they look on the surface and then they look in the soul, but then they just look on the surface. And sometimes they don't even look at the soul at all. They just look on the surface. Money and status and looks. That's all that matters to them.
And they're spreading their ego.
Right. And they spread that disease to regular society. That's the problem with Hollywood. They spread that disease to regular society because now you got men out here doing the same thing that these Hollywood dudes is. But you know, that's not like it's sad. Like there's and you know, this is why I think my daughter doesn't want to get married. She doesn't want to be in a relationship because men think like that. Because the men today think like that. They're not thinking about what's in the heart. They're looking on the surface and money. And that's sad. And that, you know, if they had faith, if they had their spirituality and they stuck to their spirituality and faith, then maybe they would be able to look within somebody's soul. But it's just like nowadays people seem soulless in the dating pool. They seem so soulless. Like they just shallow and soulless. It's terrifying.
And they want everyone to look like they're I say a 10-year-old boy with boobs, but I don't mean to be offensive to 10-year-old boys or girls with boobs. I'm just saying everybody wants this idea of what it's supposed, and then when that no longer fits that schematic, on to the next one.
You should hear what they
destroy a beautiful young woman's body and put a child in her, and then when her body changes or starts going through the changes, then they're off to another one.
Yep, exactly.
It's over it. It's like, come on, dude.
Yeah. Go ahead, Brent.
No, I was going to say, and seriously, I mean, we all get old, and the thing of it is, with marriage, you start young and you get older through time, but you still love each other. You still, people are in the fantasy, and a lot of men hit that midlife crisis. They get older, and their wife don't look like she did when she was 20, and then I get with a younger woman that will go with them because they got resources or something, but there's no love there. You just threw away the one lust. Yeah, you throw away the woman that loves you for that lust, living that fantasy. But
trust me, they'll get fate. They'll get the karma that comes for them when they do stuff like that.
I'm telling you, they get karma bad and can't reach some parts. Okay, and you want to make sure that the person who's with you likes you enough to reach those parts for you. Okay.
Yeah, that's just like a situation I remember. You don't know. I don't know if you know about B. Smith. I think her name was B. Smith. When her husband, she got Alzheimer's, and he just left her for another woman. That's terrible. Like, why would you do that?
That's not living up to your marriage vows.
Yeah, that's breaking them. And he was like, well, what am I supposed to do? And you're supposed to take till death do you part. You take through sickness and in health. That's right. The whole point. When you make those vows of sickness and health, when your wife or your husband is sick, you're there for them. They trust you more than they would trust a stranger, more than they would trust the doctor, more than they would trust anyone else in that room. And you abandon them. You completely abandoned them and just left them there to die.
Yep.
Because you couldn't take it. But what if it was you in that bed? Wouldn't you want her to stay there with you? Like, come on. That's the thing. They don't think about that. When you get sick, most of these young girls, if you got money, all they want is your money and they're gone.
Yep.
And you can lay there in your Depends in a walker, on a wheelchair, in shitting through one of those little porta potties. They'll be gone with your money, and you'll be in a nursing home. That's what happens. But the woman that loved you and grew up with you from the time you were young until the time now, you completely deserted her to the side for somebody young. That's why I said karma is coming for men who do that, and women who do that too. And women who do that too. This karma is coming for both sides, because that stuff is not okay.
Oh, those debts will be paid. Trust. Yes, on both sides. You are absolutely right.
And don't you get it biblically tenfold?
Tenfold.
Yep.
that's 10.
That's why look. It's best to stay single. Don't mess with anybody's heart, and start paying down your spiritual debt. Okay.
Yeah, I would say they need to do some inner work on themselves. Do some inner work on yourself.
Do it all, but definitely don't poison. Don't put no more poison out there, because when you reach a certain look. Even those of us who feel like we've met some certain expectations, we sin every day. We are hitting and hurting people unknowingly. We got to work on it, because I'm telling you, like Brent said, it's gonna come back, and we wonder where it come from. Because we are not paying down that debt. We're carrying debt. We are literally inheriting debt from our parents.
Yeah. Spiritual debt. That's what it is. Spiritual debt and everything. So it's just like you can't have a mindset like that and get married, and then you're married to somebody for like 10 years, and then all of a sudden and then they're like, well, people fall out of love. People fall out of love because you married for the wrong reasons. That's why you fall out of love.
Yeah.
You fall out of love because you married her because she was fine as hell and her body was nice and everything like that. But then now everything changed after y'all done had kids and all that. And that's the reason why you're leaving her, is because you did not love her for who she was on the inside. You loved her for her aesthetics and the money that she had in her pocket. The same thing, vice versa. You only loved him for the money in his pockets and his body. That's it. You didn't love him for the soul that's inside. Y'all people, I'm telling you, like, it makes me so angry when I see divorces from like people in their 30s and they've been married for 10 years. Why the heck would you do that? And go for somebody younger, and then when your butt gets old and you're like, you can hardly get out of the fucking bed. Guess where that girl's gonna be? Gone, long gone with the pool guy, and you'll be sitting there in the bed, just literally struggling. Like, no.
Minding my own business. You're actually cussing on a Bible study show. We got teenagers that watch this show.
Oh, they do? I didn't know
that. Yeah.
Brent's got a full gamut.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I got all age level. Well,
the thing is that marriage needs to be more valued. It needs to be valued more in society, and I think it falls to the parents to teach their kids how valuable marriage is. But when you're seeing your parents who've been married for like 10, 20 years getting a divorce, that's hard. That's really hard for them to say, well, then why aren't you and dad together? Fuck the midlife crisis bullshit. I'm tired of that excuse.
Okay.
I'm tired of that's an excuse to me. That's an excuse, and excuses are the devil's fruit. So I don't want to hear it,
Yeah. Well, that's what they call it. It's there's no justification in it. Yeah, that's just
there's no excuse to just blame it on midlife crisis and go out and cheat on your wife that's been there for you financially and, you know, spiritually and everything else. She's been there for you all throughout. Oh yeah, I gotta watch my. I apologize for that. But it just makes me so mad because people don't value marriage anymore. They don't.
They don't. And that's why our society is going the way it is. That's why when you have good, strong marriages, you have a good family, you have a good community, you have a good town, a city, a state, a country. It affects us all. If more people were in strong, stable marriages, we would all be better off. It affects us all, even though you don't even know these people, because you know there's instability. Their kids might be hurting, going through some stuff. You know, single mother. There's poverty. There's crime. It all, you know, people that are married, even people in lower income and people in poverty, they've been known through years to pull together to make it work. And their families are usually, you know, do pretty well. They might not have nothing, but they got that family structure. They got love there. They have something. But when you throw that marriage away and just go off lust, and it just destroys everything. It really does. And honestly, once the family goes, so goes the nation.
That's the truth.
It does. When we stop, you know, when we get away from the basic family that God wants us to have, we're going to have problems. And us as men, if we don't pull our head out of our butt and start treating our women the way they should be treated, I'm talking all women, and love them and marry them, we're going to have judgment upon us, upon our nation. You know, in fact, the world's going to have judgment because, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to just put celebrities on the back burner and idolize, like, you know, put celebrities, but I wanted to talk about. I mean, it's the same thing when it comes to like, if like the relationship I was thinking of is like Jason Momoa and Lisa Bonet. It's like, why you literally told everybody on TV how you wanted her.
You crushed her.
You crushed her. Yeah. And then you get in her life and then all of a sudden you want to get a divorce. Like what? Like, come on. And then now he's out here. Now he goes and dates another woman, but then they split up. That's karma. That is karma.
Lisa Bonet looks better with age.
Yeah, and you see,
and he thinks that she's gonna stay. If she's single, it's because she is by choice, and she wants to focus on raising her children. But let me tell you, he's not the only young man who had a crush on Lisa Bonet back in the day, who are waiting for to shoot their shot.
Yes, exactly. So, and it just makes me mad because people were like cheering their divorce. Oh, he's finally gonna get a younger woman. That's going to make his life any better. Getting a younger woman that's going to cheer him up. No.
You know, the problem with some people is that they exist.
Hey, you know, speaking about crushes, Lisa Bonet, you know who I had a crush on?
Who?
Was that woman from Cosby Show?
Claire?
Yeah, Claire. Oh, Claire. Oh my God!
Felicia Rashad, I think that's her name.
Felicia.
Yeah, no, but back in the day, she was a beautiful woman, and
she's still beautiful.
Yeah, she still is. But what I'm saying is, the character she played, that image was it was so attractive because she was beautiful, she was confident,
and she was very smart.
She was professional, very smart, and she was traditional too.
Traditional, definitely.
I know she's playing a character, but to find a woman like that would be the ultimate prize. That would be such a treasure.
Yes.
And I just had a crush on that because she was beautiful in the image.
Yes.
Now, I mean, that's make believe because it's a TV show. I mean, I don't know how the woman really is in life. I'm sure she's
it was wonderful. It was, you know what I really loved, and I don't think people really paid attention to this, but when the show started, she was going back into the workforce. And Heathcliff, who had the practice down in the extension of the house, he was keeping Rudy company. In between, you know what I'm saying? So it was like, it had this really great image that, you know, that she was going back and like, kind of, it almost gave me like, not with the money, but kind of like my parents. My mother went back to work when I started school, you know what I'm saying? And it was kind of like that same thing. And there was a very different feeling of nurturing when children have their mothers at home.
Oh yeah. And you know what? That show was like, it put a positive image on the Black family.
Yes, it did.
Today, what do you see when there's Black people involved in TV shows? What kind of shows you seen?
You see family togetherness. You see a lot of family togetherness, really, when you see Black family shows. They're very positive.
Oh, are they? I mean, that show was positive, but
yeah.
I mean, like shows like Empire, we see.
Oh, you're talking about those. I thought you were talking about like
Family Matters. About the ratchet parts.
Oh, you're talking about the ratchet. I thought y'all was talking about the Family Matters and the Huxtables.
Oh no, those were good shows, but are they making shows like that anymore?
Well, no, one just went off. That was Blackish.
All the modern shows are trash.
Yeah, and their spinoff was Mixish. They basically did a show based upon when Rainbow was a little child growing up in a mixed family. That was pretty good, but it got canceled 2 seasons in. The pandemic came and, you know, shifted the whole landscape of a lot of shows. A lot of shows, they used the pandemic to release a lot of shows, you could tell.
Yeah, I'm so sick of these ratchet shows. That's why I don't even watch TV no more. I really don't. I'm only on YouTube and I'll listen to music and stuff, and then I'll watch like some maybe entertainment shows for like the news and stuff and what's going on in Hollywood. But I don't watch TV no more. I got sick of like, you know, Ink. I guess that's what that show's called, Ink, and then Housewives, and then you remember the Fight Girl, the Bad Girls Club, and then I was like, ugh. I was like, no. You know, I'm just so sick of stuff like that. And then BET used to be so different back then. My mom even said that it's turned to trash too, because it used to be a good place to find good music. And
me and my wife used to watch it back in the day in the 90s when they had the videos.
Even back in the 70s, like 80s and 70s and 80s. I mean,
that was fun. And then the shows were pretty good.
I wish I could say that I'm surprised how things have turned, but I can't say that. I saw this train going off the track 30 years ago. I was like, heaven forbid if nobody corrects it and gets he'll tracks and divert this train because it's about to go off the track.
Well, the founder of BET, his son sold it to a corporate company, so that corporate company just puts trash on the show on BET now.
Oh yeah,
it's just full of trash, and it's like, oh, we're trying to appeal to the modern to the young people today, and it's like, you're putting toxic stuff out there for the young people today, and stuff that just it's just gross.
Mark says Debbie Allen is her sister. Yeah, she is. Yeah.
Now Debbie is still married to her husband Norm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are beautiful ladies. Very much.
The False Housewives of Coconut County.
Robbie, you are too much.
Okay. Oh yeah, I saw the BET Awards. It was an embarrassment, and then I said, I'm turning on. You know, I saw like snippets of it, but I was like, no, because I don't watch BET, but I saw snippets of it. I said, oh my God. I said no.
Yeah, Sophia. She was like, she had just like started going back to work.
And you see how they had Kevin Samuels on there. Oh my God!
I didn't see that part. See, I can't watch BET. You know what I do? I go when people tell me about certain performances, then I'll go on YouTube and I'll Google them and then I'll watch.
Yeah, they had him on there saying "Rest in peace, brother" or something like that. I was like, oh no! I said, I'm done. That's it. I turn it off.
BET has expanded, CC. It's like a BET Her, a BET Plus. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's expanded. It's like what is that thing? You know, it doesn't die, it multiplies like baby's
Yeah.
kids.
Kind of like Disney Plus, Disney cartoons or something like that. It's kind of like that. They expand in
Nickelodeon expanded like that too.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. But they're mostly, you have to pay. Those are paid channels, and thank goodness my money ain't invested in that. Heck no, I'm not watching that crap.
You know what? Yeah. I'm kind of like you. I don't watch much TV.
You're right, J10. It's a sick world, isn't it? I'm so glad I'm not in it. I'm so glad I'm not in this world. Oof.
Yeah.
They are literally, yeah, you're exactly right.
I'd rather go outside. I'd rather go outside and plant vegetables than deal with any TV or BET or anything. I'd rather go plant vegetables.
Yeah, like baby kids.
Plant vegetables.
I used to plant vegetables.
I'm telling
I want to get back into it though. I used to plant vegetables when I was in a group home as a kid. I used to plant vegetables, and then one of the staffs there, they taught me how to plant vegetables like peppers and everything like that, tomatoes and carrots, and you know, he taught me how to do all that, so I can actually do it. I just right now I live in a city, but I want to get out of the city and move very far away. I want to live in a like an area where there's some land and I can just start growing garden.
Well, I grow some in my yard. I got a pretty big backyard, and when me and my wife ever got a house, I would figure out what we could budget, what we can have, and I would just tell her, go find us a house. And but my thing was a nice size yard, because I like to be out in the yard. That's my thing. And I planted some trees out, and there's a garden. My daughter actually spends time with me out in the backyard because she grows her little plants and does her thing, and it's pretty cool. I mean,
yeah, grow herbs and everything like that. I know how to do all that. I just don't have the room to do that here. But once I get to a better situation and a better place, then I can start doing that. Because I actually want to teach my daughter how to do that. My youngest, teach her how to plant and like grow stuff, because the way things are going nowadays with the inflation and everything is going up, it's better to just plant your own stuff and then harvest it. And I've been watching like channels about how to jar preserves, everything like that. And I've just been more focused on that and trying to so just in case if inflation comes, hey, I got all my stuff, all my basic needs right in my backyard. And just plant. Yeah. I mean, just plant and just start planting. And then when winter comes, you just jar it up and put it away. And it's good for a ton of months,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'd say people should start doing that and just start just the basics, just start doing the basics. So because it's like milk is like $6 out here. It's like $6 for milk. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Well, the thing of it is, when fuel prices go up, everything goes up.
Everything does,
It sure does.
Because the cost too, especially diesel. When diesel spike, you're in trouble when diesel goes up.
Yeah, because then our food is going to cost more. Right. The products we get in stores, these companies ain't going to take the hit. They're going to transfer the cost to us.
Oh yeah,
they're going to put it on us. They're definitely they're going to milk us for the money. And it's just so sad, that, and it's going to be hard for people who don't know how to do things like that.
That's true.
It's going to be hard for them, especially when they're going to stores trying to get food and they don't even have that much money to do it. It's going to be hard for them.
Well, then your buying power goes down. Then you can't, then milk is a couple dollars more. And
about getting a small cow.
A small cow. Well, that goes up too. There's a lot of money in cattle. I mean, get a small
cow.
Well, there's one thing I heard. If you want to shop for grandkids or anything, you might want to buy the Christmas presents early because they may not be enough on the shelves.
That's true.
Yeah.
And
It's
of
not that you
course,
won't have
when
the
supply
money.
is down
It's
and
just
demand
the
is high,
supply
the
won't
price
be
goes
there.
up.
Yeah, that's true, Corey. That's definitely true.
Well, we just went through the baby formula thing.
I mean, Angelique, make your own milk.
We went through that baby formula thing. I think they're still short some places.
And the toilet paper debacle.
Oh yeah, well when COVID hit, people panicked and bought toilet paper. They bought.
They're still doing that. There's still certain places that are out of stock of toilet paper and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, what are you going to do? Eat it? I mean,
there's one thing that kind of shook me that I heard a couple of weeks ago. They said basically the oil industry is going to cause a shortage of diesel, and we're already on our second weekend, and they said 6 to 8 weeks. Now that's going to really affect supply chains.
Oh,
definitely.
Yes.
It's basically a forced freight strike because companies, they won't be able to afford to haul the product and still make profit when you can't afford the diesel.
That's right.
They won't.
Diesel is outrageous.
They'll just park the truck.
Regular gas is diesel is.
I think they're trying to find a solution to that by doing electric cars, but I don't think that's going to work out too well with electric cars.
Well, it's not going to be enough time because every time
it's a power play.
People that don't believe in those things won't put money and resources in them. So it goes back and forth, and we just end up like a one-legged duck turning around in a circle.
No, what really is going on is we're in a class war.
Yeah,
it's a class war. It's not. It's political.
Yeah, it's definitely.
We're literally in a class war between the high corporations, the big ones, and the politicians, and then the middlemen that are basically making money off both sides, and they don't care about regular people at all.
No,
they really don't. No, none of them. Not none of them care about. Yeah, they don't care about us. They really don't care about whether we suffer or don't suffer. They don't care about that. That's why I said a lot of people are thinking about going off grid and just leaving everything behind and going back to the old ways.
Well, from everything that I've been watching,
I'm 5 seconds.
I won't say stock up, but brace for things because come this December, between now and December, it could get ugly because we've only, according to their projected, there's only like 4 to 6 weeks left of this diesel crunch. This is a man-made crunch. They did the same thing in '72.
Oh wow! So then
this
now
is the first time the oil industry has done this. You know how the politicians do the exact same thing but at different times?
Yeah.
The oil industry, when they're pressured, they do the exact same thing.
They shut it down.
Well, they play politics.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They know how to do it.
The ones who are stuck in the middle of the tug of war.
Well, they don't care.
Of course not.
Yeah, but all we can do is just prepare and survive. It won't matter how much money you got if there's nothing there to buy.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yep.
It won't matter.
I wonder if that'll have an effect on public transportation and people trying to get to work and stuff.
Of course it will. They run on diesel.
Yeah.
Well, how many people stayed home during the pandemic with the non-essential workers?
Oh, yeah. Not to mention people are still getting sick from COVID.
Boy, it'll never go away.
No, it's going to be around. It's been around for a long time.
It's here forever.
Much longer than you think.
Well, yeah, it's a virus. It's not going anywhere.
I think the first was in like 2003-ish, somewhere around that time. And then
it's a virus. It's not going anywhere. Just like the flu.
It's going to keep replicating.
Yeah, we'll just have to take care of ourselves. That's all.
Yeah,
I think to me, it's like a wake up call for people who are like greedy, and people who are just selfish and everything. Like it's a wake up call to just stop overindulging on things.
Right.
Especially food and drink and all that. Stop overindulging on it and take care of yourself. This should be a wake up call for everybody. Take care of your body. If we had taken care of our body like our ancestors did, and not have excess. Well, I can't say because there was the rich people back then who were fat and greedy and everything like that. But there was a lot of them who took care of themselves and just ate right and just lived long. But you know, this should be a wake up call for us to just take care of ourselves, especially for older people.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because
Yeah.
we'll get affected, but young people get affected too. But I'm just saying we're going to get hit the most.
Yeah.
I don't know. I live in the country, so I'll probably.
Yeah, you
It's
don't.
not really going to affect me.
You know, to
No,
be
that's
honest
why I
with you,
said.
I'll
Yeah,
have
go
to
ahead.
make some
I'm
adjustments,
52
but it's
with
not
no
going to
children,
affect
and
me.
I've lived a good life. So, you know, at this point, I'm not going to be running, jumping, hopping. I'll social distance from other people who are afraid to be around me, but I'm not going to be living on vaccines.
Yeah.
I definitely won't be
That's my
going into
choice.
no.
That's my heel, and that's where
Yeah.
I'm going to. That's where I'm going to
Hey,
fold my
that's your
lawn
choice.
chairs on.
Just stay away from the crazy Karens without the mask. That's all. The ones that like to cough
You
and.
know, down here, I see more people wearing masks in Alabama than I did, like in the stores, than I did up
Oh
in
wow.
Michigan.
Not
You know,
here. Not
the
where I'm at.
the
Not
clerks are
here.
wearing, you know, they're very much, and I'm like, well, good for you guys, because you wouldn't hear about that up north. You know, they make it seem like only the
Oh
people
yeah.
but the people everywhere are doing what they need to do.
Do you know what I've
Not.
seen? The Red Cross will not let you give blood. You cannot donate blood if you've been vaccinated.
What?
See,
That
I
came
mean,
across Google. That was on my Google homepage on the news.
Wow.
If you've
isn't
been
that
vaccinated, they
something?
do not want your blood.
That
Oh
should
my
say
God.
something. Wow.
Yeah, there might be something. There's something in them vaccines then.
See, this is the thing. I'm telling you, people who haven't been vaccinated are going to end up being a commodity.
I've never
Yeah.
been
I had
vaccinated.
no
I'm not going to
idea
be.
about that. Thank you for that
I
information,
never have either.
Corey.
Well, you know,
Wow.
that stuff never lasts very long on my computer. It's there for like a day and a half, and then you never see it again.
Oh wow.
I had to read it. I read
Hey,
it, and
you know,
because if they give it to the person that's weak, they can die on the spot
Oh wow.
because
Yeah.
of the protein spikes in it. And if you die on the operating table, it's a lawsuit.
Oh wow. That's
So
crazy.
if that doesn't, I mean, one little pint of blood could kill somebody if you've been vaccinated and you get that blood, or if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Totally understand that, Frangelique. A lot of people I know are working on their second booster and they've had COVID like 3 or 4 times. I'm not out here beating no drum, but I haven't been vaccinated and I have not contracted COVID.
The thing with that is that they think if they get them shots that they could just go out and party like that and take the
no,
mask
yeah.
off. No, you can
And these
still
are
catch
mostly
it.
people who don't know how to social distance. They don't know how to stay
Yep.
at home. And see, that's one of the reasons why I played the cards to my favor, because I'm not a person. I know how to social distance because I am innately an introvert. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
reserved person, and because people spread germs during various times of the year. That's just how I was normally anyway. You go out and people get their flu shots. I've learned from the people who are getting the flu shots. They get the flu shot, they go out, they're sick, they're asking people to pray for them. It's like, okay, wash, rinse, repeat every year. So I knew once this happened, I was like, okay, I'm staying away from people because I know who's going to get sick. The people who are going to get the vaccine.
The ones who are,
Those are people that they're going to get to stay away from.
because they're always around people. They think as soon as they get the
Right. And they're trying
vaccines,
to
they
blame
go
people that
around
aren't
the people.
vaccinated. You can say what you want to say, but you're working on your 4th booster and you've had COVID 3 times.
Wow.
I'm not but staying away from people. I think that's why introverts will survive because we don't mess around like that. We don't want to get sick.
Well, you know, I'm an introvert too. I mean, I've already had COVID and Omicron, and it came, it went. I'm healthy. I'm strong.
Yeah,
I'm not scared of it.
No.
I'd be scared of it.
I had
Like
it
a
in
98.2%
They've had like
survival
2
rate.
shots and 2 boosters. You know, I call it the 4th booster because if you've gone past 1 shot and you're on 4, I think that's 4 boosters. Because every time they keep coming up with a new thing, those people get in line and they get in line quick to get that booster. They're going to have 10. Before I'm 60, they're going to have 10 shots. I guarantee you.
Well, it's a money maker.
I don't know if they're going to survive 10 shots.
You're right.
Yeah.
That stuff is killing people. More people have died from the shot than from COVID. I just seen that come across my computer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So what are we doing?
Have you
Just,
seen?
yeah, that
Have
was
you
like the
seen the
first
country
one
of Haiti?
up and grabbed their
Have you
shot, and
seen
they come in
Haiti?
two.
The country of Haiti only has like a 2.7% vaccinated or 4 point something, and they have the lowest death rate from COVID out of the entire planet because they did not force vaccinate their people.
Yeah.
Now that's Haiti. This is a third world country pretty much.
Yeah.
And they got the lowest death rate because they didn't vaccinate.
Yeah. Yeah, I know people, and they're proud to show their little cards. I'm like, okay. I don't say a word. I'm not trying to tell anybody what to do. I've made my choice. You make your choice.
I just don't like needles for first and foremost. I hate needles. I get anxiety when they get around me. I mean,
yeah,
when
someone trust me, I hear you. Someone who has been in a hospital twice with pneumonia because I have asthma. And when I get in the wintertime, I get really sick. That's why I don't go out. Because I get really sick, and I ended up with pneumonia twice. And them needles every time they would come in with them freaking needles. I hated it.
Oh,
LVN said we can't talk about it because they'll take your video down.
Yeah, I think so.
Thelma repeated it. I think Thelma said that. Yeah, you can't talk about that subject. YouTube will take it down. Okay.
Yeah,
let's shift.
Because they'll see it as conspiracy theories or something like that, and they'll take it down. Yeah.
Well, I mean, do what you want. Whatever's best for you.
Right, yeah. Choose your heel. I've chosen mine. That's what I tell people.
Choose what you want to do with yourself and your life. The choice is in your hands.
Yeah. Sorry if I'm scaring anybody, Akita. I'm sorry.
No,
sorry,
I didn't mean to stress
Akita.
anybody out.
This is probably the first time I publicly made the statements that I've made. My family pretty much knows how I feel about medicines, period. I don't take any medication, no prescriptions, no nothing. I think everything comes from nature.
Yeah.
And look, when it's your time, I can't tell people what to do. I made choices a long time ago that I can do this freely. But if you have, children, grandchildren, family, whatever, you probably will make a different choice. But that's why I just isolate myself, because I know there are other people that have to do it. They have an elderly parent, like I believe Afro Angelique said she had to be vaccinated because of her mom. She has a mom with compromised immunity, so it's understandable. I judge no one. I just have to do what I think is best for me. And I didn't even know.
If you're a healthy person, there's no need to be getting it. If you're a real healthy person, you have no health. If you have no health problems, then you shouldn't be getting it.
Exactly.
You should be fine. But if you have health problems, or if you're having lung issues, or you're having certain things like a weak immune system, I guess if you want to, but it really is the choice is yours,
Wow.
But if you're healthy, you're healthy as an ox. Don't get it.
Brent, I'm gonna have to jump off the panel. I gotta go take care of something real quick.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to shut down here. We've been on for 3 hours.
Yeah.
Hey, thanks, J9.
Okay, let me back off.
All right. It was nice talking to you guys. I'm gonna head on out.
Yeah, nice talking to you.
Right. Take care, Brent.
Yeah, take care. You have a good night. Okay. All right. Good night, everybody. I'm gonna go ahead and close this down. This was a good, fun show. I had a good time, and we drifted off a little bit, but it was a good discussion. The thing about the show was about marriage and forgiveness. I think marriage is very important. It strengthens our communities, our families, the towns we live in, and our nation, and very important. And we got to have forgiveness too. And I had a good time tonight. I appreciate everybody that came on. Thanks for coming on. And don't forget to pray. Yeah, I'll pray before we go. I did pray before because I in case I forgot. But I'm not going to forget. I'll go ahead and say a prayer. And, I try to have a prayer meeting every Sunday. And in the beginning, I'll hit the subject. And if we talk about other things, that's fine too. We could drift a little bit. That's okay. I just like when you guys when we come together and have a prayer meeting and stuff, because to me, I'm a Christian. God is very important in my life, the most important thing in my life. And I believe because, I rely on God, I have a good wife, good marriage, I have a good family and have been blessed. And, and I think it's important to have a prayer meeting, as often as we can, at least once a week if possible. And keep Miss Carver in prayer. Pray for her. Guys, if you have prayer requests, please send it to my email, because I do forget. During the week I have a lot going on, and I don't want to forget, but sometimes I do. So if you have a prayer request, please, send me an email, and I will pray for you, and I will put it in the church prayer request. But anyway, guys, thanks for coming on, and just make the right decision when it comes to relationships, when it comes to marriage. Have that option button there, because you want the best man or the best woman for the job when it comes to marriage. And marriage is two people coming together as one. And also have forgiveness. If you're going to date and marry out, do it, but do it with love. Make sure you heal, and you don't want to carry any hurt or any pain to that next person that might be the one for you, that might love you with all their heart. But be blessed. Stay in prayer. Yes, prayer is very important. But I had a good time tonight. This was a good live. I enjoyed everybody here. I enjoyed the panel. The panel, when it comes to YouTube, to me, that's the most enjoyable thing, is having the panel. We have discussions. Sometimes they go a little bit south, and sometimes we get into our feelings, but we learn a lot too. And, just getting everybody's perspective on things. Life's an education, and I like being around people, and I like being alone sometimes, but I truly love being around you guys. If I could do YouTube more, I would. This is my passion. I love it. I love the interaction with you guys, and it's awesome. Some of you guys say that what I say is uplifting, and I appreciate that. But you coming on, being here with me, is uplifting to me, and I appreciate that. And I don't take it for granted. I don't, not at all. And but anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and close with prayer, and you can pray with me, and then we'll go out into our Sunday, and hopefully you guys have a good rest of the day. And I pray for you guys and your families, and I will be going live Wednesday night. Wednesday's my day off. I got some doctor's appointments, but in that evening, I will be doing a live show. The topic, I don't know yet. I'll look on it. Maybe I'll put it out for a vote if I can think of multiple things. I don't know. But anyway, I'll be live Wednesday. And, thank you guys for coming on. God bless you and your families. But let me end in a prayer. If you could just pray with me. Lord, thank you for this live stream tonight, Lord. And thank you for everybody that came on. The discussion was nice. And Lord, I just pray that everybody gets something out of this. Whether we're talking about scripture, dating, or just any topics. Lord, I pray that, you are there and impact our lives, Lord. And I pray that you bless each and every one of each and everybody that's on tonight, and even those that didn't come on. I pray that you bless them and their families, Lord. And thank you, Lord, for providing YouTube, that we could come together, even though we live in different parts of the country and different countries, that we could come together and read Scripture, Lord, and honor you, Lord. And that's the most important thing in life, is honoring you. And I pray that everybody, Lord, you would bless everybody. And I pray that we all get something out of this, that we can be blessed, that we can share with our family and friends, Lord. And I just pray for, that you bless everybody on this channel. I pray that you bless me and my family and everybody else's family also, Lord. And, I just pray that you can bring us back again Sunday. And, I just pray for everybody here that's hurting, everybody that are going through some things, and people that are, good things are happening too. I pray for them too. And Lord, I just ask that you bless each and every one of us as we go out through our Sunday and the rest of the week. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay. All right, guys. Mark has a channel. Check out Mark's channel, Black Woman Investor, aka formerly known, or aka known as Mark Babin. Yeah, check out his channel. But thank you guys, and have a good night. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you guys Wednesday. But if you have a prayer request, please email me. If there's anything you want to talk to me about, just shoot me an email, and I will get back with you. Sometimes it takes a few days, but But anyway, thank you guys for coming on. God bless you and your families, and I'll see you Wednesday. Have a good night, and God bless.